at Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. I know we got a lot to get to, but I guess weather and road conditions are on a lot of people's minds this morning. The schools throughout Northwest Arkansas already calling it a day before we even get going. Fayetteville, Springdale, Bentonville school districts will be closed today. So others like West Fork, Pea Ridge have also called the day off. Gravette, Siloam, Prairie Grove, Greenland, many in Northwest Arkansas. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as freezing rain and ice are forming on the roads, particularly in Benton and Washington County.
I was going to say it's a little different this morning than it was last week. It was more snow last week. This has been more ice.
Right, 540 bridge coming over from Van Buren to Fort Smith's got several wrecks. So that's the way you enter Sebastian County from Crawford County. That's a problem right now. So, hey, be careful. Just get another cup of coffee and stay in your pajamas and listen to us this morning.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Either here on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch as well. I guess people thought they were done with the weather last week, but it's kind of back to it. I feel like
it'll be this way all week.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think that this is going to take a step back.
No, not till Friday. Looking at the forecast last night, what we're getting today, it's going to be this way till the end of the week before we even see sunshine and temperatures not hovering in the 30s. So this is not going to be a fun week at all.
Does that affect attendance tomorrow night for A&M, I would think?
Sure. I mean, it did the other night. I mean, and the road conditions will be worse this go around with less precipitation. So absolutely it will affect it. We saw half the crowd that I don't know, be half, 2/3 of what you normally have, and they had to let a bunch of students in for free and kind of reconfigure. Yeah, it'll be problematic.
How much did a loss on Saturday affect attendance? We're talking about the weather, but I mean, it was such a close game, and Arkansas had so many opportunities and chances to win. They didn't turn the ball over as much in the second half, only 4 compared to 11. I know that we're going to get into a bunch of different things out of that game. It was a really fun game. I'm so glad I went. I'd been at the Farrell Center 10, 15 years, but it just felt like that Arkansas really, really missed one on Saturday.
Yeah, I went back. I made 4 pages of notes off watching that game after the Chiefs game last night. So, yeah, we got a lot we can discuss, particularly from that second half. But, no, I think people – I didn't leave discouraged about this team and where they're headed. I thought they got narrowly beat and did a lot to beat themselves on the road, where Arkansas in this Big 12 SEC Challenge is 4-5 in the 9 games they played. Guess where they won the 4?
At home.
All of them at Bud Walton. I mean, this is just a program even dating back before Musselman that's not done well, going to places like Stillwater and certainly like Waco Saturday, have just not played well. Mm-hmm. And let's see, where else they go? Iowa State, I believe, was another one.
0-2 in Stillwater,
yeah.
0-1 in Lubbock, Ophir in Ames, and then Waco.
Okay,
are the 5.
You know, so you've just got to. It sucks because you could have had a really good banner quad 1 win, but you just couldn't. You could not make a couple of free throws down the stretch. There's just a lot we could get into and why that game unfolded the way it did when it was tied at 53 and you end up where you're at.
I was talking to Ruskin about this on Hog Reaction. Jalen Graham came out of the locker room early and was shooting free throws. I was guessing that is the direction from Eric Musselman. Lawson Blake was rebounding for him, but he ended up missing 4 free throws in that ball game. He shot 6 for 11. Didn't get to the line as much as Eric Musselman and company typically enjoy, but Jalen had he only scored, I think, 4 points, but he had 9 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 assists, had 4 turnovers as well. So he did some things outside of his usual offensive game that you're encouraged about, but I know free throws really haunted him, and he was ticked off by the fact that he just kept missing them from the line.
Well, one thing that I've talked about, and I've hammered this point for the last few weeks, is Arkansas's got to keep making 7 or 8 3-point baskets. They made 4. They were 4 of 14 in the game. 28%. Percentage isn't horrible. You needed the points, though. You were short on points from not having those baskets. So let's just say you have 3 more. Let's just be as overly optimistic as we can be, and you traded those other 3 for 2-point baskets. Well, that's still 3 points. How many did you lose by?
3 points.
3 points. So, I mean, this was a game where you never found the rhythm. You never found the open looks. You didn't get Devo with his feet set and good shots. But to me, that's one of the stats that we really got to hone in on is Arkansas made 4 3-pointers versus 7 or 8. When you look at the games they've been winning lately, what's been one thing they've been doing? Making about 7 or 8 3-point baskets.
Yeah, Devo hit 2 in that game, and Ricky hit 1. I don't remember who hit the other one for the Razorbacks, but you had some. I mean, you did have some good looks. You just missed
Devo
them.
and Ricky hit all 4.
So Ricky hit 2
apiece.
Okay, I remember Ricky hit the one, and Arkansas started.
Devo was 2 of 7. He got the looks.
Yeah,
didn't make them.
They started out really, really slow. Not as slow as they did in the Elite Eight 2 years ago, but Baylor got off to a hot start. Cryer came off a great pin down and buried a 3 to start the game. And but then again, you limited them. They did that double team trap at the top of the key. So what Muss does is he picks out what he believes is the worst offensive player for Baylor who's on the court. At times it was Langston Love. I think it was that Lomer guy was the other one who airballed a 3, and then they did it to a true freshman as well. They were 1-14 in those double team shot situations. So it worked to a T. Defensively was not Arkansas's issue on Saturday. It was the 15 turnovers and the fact that at times you miss some shots that you probably shouldn't have. I know there's some other things that we'll get into as well, but really frustrating again for Eric Musselman because his guys, as we've talked about, are playing through some pain. Mykal Mitchell came back earlier. AB's dealing with the wrist in addition to getting banged up and nicked up on Saturday. He banged knees with one of the Baylor guards and was not himself the rest of the game. So these guys are playing really, really hard right now. They've just not shown an ability to close out games in the road. Now 0-5 this season. And
if I told you going into the game Anthony Black would only score 7, you'd probably say they would have lost by more than 3. I mean, that's just the reality of it is he's got to be a bigger producer offensively. And I know he's banged up and beat up, and Muss talked about that after the game, but 7 from a guy like Black in your rotation is just not going to get you there. We're brought to you by The Fence Man, the company I trust, the company I hope you can trust for anything on the perimeter of your property. You need a fence, gate, anything to control the access to your property. The Fence Man has it for you. 782-3936 is their number. They have 18 months, same as cash financing available, and you can give them a call. They'll get out and get you a free, no obligations quote this week. 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about what we saw yesterday. Conference championship weekend, halfway delivered. Chiefs and Bengals was great. Eagles and 49ers, not so much. That's next on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air, the same great people that take care of your heat.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS auto.com.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Need a bucket, though. Black in the front court to Devo. Behind the back, Devontae to the rim, lays it up and in, and he drew the foul.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So I just got on the iDrive Arkansas app, Tommy, and those wrecks that you were talking about are listed. It's got all the road conditions on there as well. I'm going to be honest, most of the time I don't do stuff like this, but with the weather that we've had lately, it's probably a good idea to update people as much as we can throughout the morning.
That's what people are worried about this morning. My wife was up. Usually she's getting up about the time I leave to come to work. Mm-hmm. She was up before I left because she wanted to see what was going on with the weather, whether the kids were going to school, who needed to get in the shower first, all of those things. What kind of timeline are we on here? Can I get out of the driveway? Now she doesn't have to worry about it. Fort Smith just called their schools off for today. So I would imagine if you live on the western side of the state from anywhere, I don't know, Fort Smith North right now, it looks like most schools are closed at this point, or at least going to AMI, which means you're going to have your kids on their computer for about 2 hours today.
Always fun. Something we didn't have to deal with. I'm sure that Laura loves having to tell
Well, I mean,
the kiddos.
One of mine, they have to like meet with the teacher. I mean, it's not just get on and do your work. It's like you have to check in and do class for a couple hours. Like the whole class gets on the Zoom, and if you're not there, you're absent. So anyway, yeah, we'll keep an eye on the roads and the weather, and much different than last week, but probably a little more treacherous this week than last week, considering what's happening out there. Hey, we're brought to you by WT Equipment. I saw a lot of people with front end loaders probably making some money moving snow off parking lots last week. So, hey, if you want to get in that business, or you're in the business but you need a bigger, better tractor, WT Equipment's the place to go. They got New Holland agricultural and construction equipment, and you can be out there helping shovel the snow with a big front end shovel on like a front end loader. You can be helping that, scraping parking lots. That'd be timely this time of the year. WT Equipment is your source for sales, service, and parts. They have 8 locations across northern Louisiana and across Arkansas and northern Louisiana, and they got one in Springdale and one in Searcy as well. So when you're ready to invest in agricultural or construction equipment, please see our friends at WT Equipment. Find that nearest location close to you at WTEquip.com.
All right, so let's talk about yesterday between the Eagles, Niners, and then also the Chiefs and the Bengals. A lot of stuff that we can get into, including really the play that ultimately led to Butker's game-winning field goal.
Take the shot down. Here's Mahomes rolling out on 3rd and 4. He's going to go for he's got the marker. He's got the out of bounds to stop it. And Osai was hurt as he hit the bench. And a flag's coming in to put him 15 yards closer.
So Osai had a great game for the Bengals, but did make that one mistake at the very end that cost him 15 yards. Butker had a 45-yard attempt compared to what would have been a lot longer field goal. Not to say he couldn't have made that, but much easier distance. He nails it. The Chiefs advance as they win 23-20 over the Bengals. Not the highest offensive game. I think it was under, because I think the over-under was 46.5. I felt like it was going to be under just because the defenses have heard about these quarterbacks all week and really all season long. So both for the Bengals and them showed up. And Patrick Mahomes, man, you can't say enough about that guy.
No, and you hated to see that play for him, but you got to be smarter than that. I mean, you get paid millions of dollars to not make boneheaded plays when Mahomes he didn't just have 1 foot out of bounds. He had 2, and it wasn't like a severe forearm shiver, but it was clear and obvious. I mean, that was not a hard call. It would have been a very bad no call had a flag not come out. So, I mean, you just got to know he's already running out of bounds. Give him up. Where's he going? So, I mean, I know it's a game of emotion and it's a game of rage in a lot of cases, and you're trying to make the play, but there was no play there to make. Mahomes had given himself up.
Yep, and again, for Bengals fans, I know there was some talking. I'm forgetting the linebacker. I think his name's Pratt. That was caught on camera and caught on video, ticked off at his teammate there heading into the Bengals locker room. But that guy made plays throughout the game. It's not on them. Chris Jones, though, my goodness gracious, was unbelievable. Had not had a postseason sack entering Sunday, and then had 2 or 3 of them on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was under duress all game long, and when you lose 3 offensive linemen like the Bengals have, and Chiefs pass rush, I think is second in the league in sacks this season, they were consistently in Joe Burrow's face throughout the game.
I thought both games were about pressure on the quarterbacks, and really the defense is kind of selling out to get to the opponent and put pressure on the opposing quarterback. I thought that's what we really saw from all 4 teams in the games yesterday.
Eagles are number 1 in the National Football League in sacks per game, and again, I think the Chiefs are number 2, so both of them had an impact. Now, Joe Cool, you thought at one point, I thought he was going to leave the Bengals down for a game-winning drive. It ended up not being the case. Threw 2 interceptions in that game, which I know he would love to have back, but both quarterbacks made some mistakes. Patrick Mahomes just letting the ball slip at one point where I think Sam Hubbard was the Bengal that recovered it. That was a weird, fluky play, but defensively, both those teams at least stone the quarterbacks at times throughout the game, keeping them under their season average for sure.
How about with the 49ers, just another injury quarterback? What was that, 4 quarterbacks they've been through, and they were down to McCaffrey? I know a lot of people on Twitter were talking about should the emergency quarterback be added or a third quarterback be guaranteed on your game day rosters. I don't know if there's going to be talk amongst the owners, but it sure made the NFL. I mean, it just shows you. To me, how in the world did the 49ers even end up in the NFC Championship game with all they've went through at quarterback? That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Purdy go down with that elbow injury, and then I think it was Josh Johnson was the backup that came in. He got injured as well. Purdy comes back, but he can't throw the football more than 10, 15 yards. You could tell they were just kind of dinking and dunking at that point in time. So really tough on Kyle Shanahan, who has a very expansive offensive play sheet, but wasn't able to do that. You mentioned McCaffrey having to suit up and play quarterback. Deebo Samuel actually played a little quarterback in high school. I didn't know if they were going to go to him at some point in time.
Because what was it? Trey Lance and then Garoppolo. They started the year with those two guys and then ended up with Purdy and then what's Johnson's first name?
I think it's Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson.
Right.
I mean, you were at points in that game, you were at your fifth quarterback and somehow still in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 31-7 to final. Philadelphia really just ran all over San Francisco, and then offensively just didn't have enough firepower to compete with the Eagles and Hurts, who now gets to compete against Patrick Mahomes. It should be a fun one.
All right, Chuck's about got all the ice chipped off his windshield. He'll be on the air with us here in just a minute. Hey, if you have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate, and you're worried about the rising cost of interest, with interest rates continually on the rise with inflation, interest rates are going to continue to go up. Farm Credit can fix that for you. Talk to Farm Credit about long-term fixed rates for the life of your loan. In fact, long-term fixed rates from Farm Credit can give you the peace of mind you need right now in changing economic times. Find an office near you today, myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal housing lender.
Chuck was live in Waco like myself. He's going to give his take on what happened in the Farrell Center. Great game. 3-point loss for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Also ask him about the Dallas Cowboys, their recent move with Kellen Moore, and what also occurred in the SEC Big 12 Challenge this weekend. All coming up on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Happy New Year, everyone. Hi, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination. That's right, we've had enough. Thanks to our live market value pricing, our prices are dropping and our customers are saving now. And you can too on a great selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles, the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our non-commissioned solution specialists are there for you. Let them worry about making all the numbers work. It's what they're paid to do. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brake brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. For even more savings and protection, ask about our new Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They'll help you keep your car in tip-top shape while saving you money. So if you're like us and you want 23 to be the best year ever and you're ready for some inflation elimination, start today by driving better in a nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
When you donate the kind of money that gets your name on a building, it's because you believe in what they're doing. It's because you believe in their mission. It's because you believe in the person or persons heading up the program. You don't just give away that kind of money because the team's winning. It has to go way beyond that.
All right, back here on the Morning Rush. However you may be listening, be safe this morning. I know a lot of roads in North Arkansas, North Central Arkansas, River Valley, IC, Rex. Just be safe out driving this morning as we continue on here on Hot Take Monday.
Hey, it's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, lifetime warranties on things like Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance. And you have service after the sale, on-site storage, even their full paint and collision center that they have at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV. Well, looky here. Chuck Barrett's walked in. He's got a scarf on, got a toboggan on. You look like you've been out there chipping the ice off your windshield this morning.
Man, it's crazy out there. I mean, it really is. Northwest Arkansas, everything's covered in ice pretty much in Northwest Arkansas right now. And, on days like this, you get up a little bit earlier. I heard you talking about that, Tommy, with Laura, and I know that everybody does that today. I started getting texts from people about 4:45 this morning, and I know they don't get up at 4:45 normally. So it's I'd be interested too. I know there are some people that have to be out this morning. If you're out, call us or shoot us a text. Give us an idea what it's like where you are. And I wonder how fast people are able to drive, because that's what gets you. I mean, that's what gets you. You're going about 10 miles, 10 miles faster than you need to. Well, and that's what gets you. At least that's what gets me sometimes.
So I'm coming up the state highway this morning, headed to the studio, and I'm doing about 38, 40 miles an hour, about the speed limit. Roads seem okay. And here comes one of these jokers. I'm like, all right, here comes this guy doing 50, 60 by, just flying by me. Is the sheriff. Oh. I guess he was headed somewhere, but
hey, let me mention too, it looks like I don't know, I love the iDrive Arkansas app.
Yeah, we were looking at it.
They really keep it updated. It looks like there's a wreck around the tunnel right now, but the majority of the accidents have come around that bridge in Fort Smith.
Yeah.
And you can just look at everything right now and see where the accidents are. It looks like that of all our listening area right now. That's the spot where there are the most accidents, but it does look like there's one up around the tunnel right now.
I've been texting with my oldest daughter. She lives in Crawford County, but works at Baptist Health on Towson, and I was a little worried about her getting across the bridge. She made it across the Midland Bridge, and she's at work safe. So I know that at least she got across the bridge. I assume others are finding passage there, because at one point early this morning, when my wife was looking at that, they had the bridge just basically shut down on 540.
It looks like from what I see, east of Alma on I-40, you're going to be okay right now. Now, south on 71 from Fort Smith, that's going to be difficult. 49's not terrible right now, but they do have that wreck around the tunnel. And then as you get on into Fayetteville, from what I understand, once you move between West Fork and Greenland and get on up 49 right there, it sounds like that's where it's getting really bad.
A lot of schools closed. I'm sure, we communicate different with the schools already texting out alerts, so we won't go through a long list. But seems like from south of Fort Smith to the state line north, Benton, Washington, Crawford, Sebastian counties, a lot of those school districts have already moved to, AMI, get on the computer from home, or just called it a day already.
I can tell you the big four up here closed, and everybody else is too. I think Fayetteville may be doing AMI, but you don't have to get them to go to the schoolhouse is what it boils down to today.
Yeah. We got a few texts, Chuck. I know you were asking for those this morning. Again, our number 877-377-6963. Up in kind of north central Arkansas, Marshall, the roads are good but wet. You're talking about the Midland Bridge, Tommy, that Taylor was driving on earlier.
Yep.
It's icy. So if you're going to do that, be careful. Rogers Road here in Fort Smith is icy as well.
Rogers Avenue. Yeah.
Alma to Ozark is all good on the interstate. So if you want to keep texting those in this morning, again, feel free to do that.
Sounds like if you're heading west, if you're heading up to Fayetteville today, if you're listening around Ozark or Clarksville and you're heading toward Fort Smith, about the time you get on that bypass at Fort Smith, it's going to start getting bad. And as you head north from Alma, I mean, you've done it before. You know how it's going to get. You're heading up the mountain. It's going to get worse as you go.
Yeah. So I want to get to the game Saturday, but how would this maybe affect the game for tomorrow with A&M? Because generally the road team travels in the day before. I assume they would land at XNA. I don't, will they have any trouble flying in to Northwest Arkansas today? That's a question on my mind.
I don't know, and that's a good question. And I know it's early in the day, and but it doesn't sound like it's going to warm up a lot. I know that the highway people, the county people, the state people, everybody's going to be out working today. Normally on a normal day they would fly into Drake Field, and you would fly in, and when the game's over, you'd bus right down there and fly right out. You always have the option to fly into XNA, and on a day like this, that probably would be the option, I would guess. But I just don't know. I don't know if they'd have to, if the conference would require them to fly in. I just don't know at this point. But generally speaking, like for example, when all this hit last week, LSU was already here, so we're going to play.
Yeah,
and it's just a question of can you get out. So, it's a little bit different this time, but we'll just have to see how the day unfolds.
And ice, much different than snow.
Absolutely.
When it comes to flying, particularly with air travel. But the other thing is it's a Tuesday game. The conference routinely plays Wednesday, and I don't, the weather forecast doesn't look a whole lot better for the first 3 or 4 days of the week, but it would be reasonable to think you could move the game from Tuesday to Wednesday night. That may mess up the TV plans, but certainly wouldn't get you out of your normal routine of playing either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but you could, you've certainly got that extra day, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Logistically, is that difficult for the university to do? You're talking about kind of the flying aspect and getting A&M here. Is that hard to have everyone move from the people that work and the food and the security? I mean, how difficult is that to just basically tell them, hey, we got to move this back a day?
Well, the university's closed today, and I don't know what the situation's going to be tomorrow. But when you travel, really the only time you interact with the school that you're going to before the game is you generally go to the arena. And somebody's there to let you in. Like, for example, if they get in today, my guess would be they'd go to the arena and shoot a little bit tonight. Then they'd come back tomorrow and they'd have some sort of game day practice for an hour, hour and a half, something like that. That's how most schools do it. That's how Arkansas does it. But other than that, you're kind of on your own. You arrange your travel. Schools arrange their own travel. Everything from how they're going to get there when they arrive to where they're going to stay to how they're going to eat and all that stuff. A lot of them eat in hotels now. You don't stay in a hotel unless they can serve you food, unless they've got the ability to serve a big meal to a big group. That's why you stay in some of the bigger hotels when you travel. So I'm sure A&M's, I'm sure their director of basketball operations right now, it's 6:40 in the morning there too. And I promise you already he's up and at him, and his head's probably already pounding.
All right, so that's the story we'll keep an eye on as the day goes on. Let's backtrack to Saturday. Both you guys were in Waco. Chuck, I'll start with you. What'd your eyes see? What'd you take away from Arkansas's 3-point loss at Baylor?
Man, I'll tell you, they played their butt off, and so did Baylor. I mean, it was a hotly contested game. You got to the end, and it seemed like everything, every movement mattered. Baylor's good. I thought Arkansas went down there and, played the brakes off the 17th ranked team who'd won 5 in a row in a place where it was not what I would call a hostile environment per se, but it was a road crowd. The arena was full. It wasn't a nasty crowd like you have at some places, but it was definitely a road atmosphere for sure. And you just look at the numbers after the game. I mean, Baylor made 21 free throws. Arkansas made 6. Baylor shot 24. Arkansas shot 11. That happens a lot on the road. I mean, that happens on the road. Lots of games are like that. And you look at every statistical category, Arkansas won the game. You're minus a few in turnovers and second chance points, but when you shoot 51% and they shoot 34%, most times you overcome things like that.
Hey, identical in rebounds. They did have 5 more offensive rebounds than you did. I was impressed with how many Arkansas fans were there, Chuck. You probably had that. We were at George's before the game, and I'm not kidding. There were 100-plus Arkansas fans that walked through the doors while we were there, and I'm thinking, man, there's going to be a good crowd today. When Arkansas went on a run a time or two in that ball game, that place got pretty loud with Arkansas fans. I'd say there's probably 1,000 fans there. We're in red.
We mentioned, I mentioned on the pregame show on the broadcast that with the exception of the 2 Baylor student sections, you could see red in every section.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was only in a section or 2 that were our sections where, it was dominant. But in every section of the arena, you could see the red. And, I mean, it wasn't generally just 1 or 2 people. Now, again, there were more Baylor people than Arkansas by a long shot. But, yeah, I mean, and there were people – I talked to a lot of people that are Razorback fans that live in Dallas. They're, alums, and they drove over for the game. And so I knew there'd be some there. I also figured Baylor would have the bulk of the tickets, and they did. But, it was a good game. Arkansas lost. And you got to get back to business this week. I mean, you got to get back to business this week.
Now, y'all tell me, I was reading where, all the seats above row 17 or 18 or whatever were general admission. And below that was, how in the world does that happen at a place that just won the national championship?
Well, here's the thing you have to remember. Here's the thing you have to remember. They don't have a huge enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, Waco's not a major metropolitan area. There are lots bigger places in Texas than Waco. They're building a new arena, and it looks really cool. It's got that field house look. But they're actually bringing their seating from 10,200 to about 7,000. Now, the thing about the Farrell Center, it was built 40 years ago. So, you don't have luxury suites. Nobody knew what those were back in the 80s when they built it. And as you look around that building, there's just no place to do it. So they're actually downsizing in terms of seats. But, again, this is not a major metropolitan area. And I know Dallas is about an hour and 40 minutes away, but if you've ever lived in Dallas or spent much time in Dallas, getting out of Dallas is not easy. And so, you play a night game in Waco and you live in Dallas, you're not going because you've got to deal with the Dallas traffic. And so they don't draw as well as you might think, but it's not because the people there aren't enthusiastic. There's just not enough of them.
Their football stadium only holds about 46,000. Yeah. It's McLean. They downsized, and I'm forgetting the name of their old stadium, but they downsized from their football to the new one as well, sitting next to Brazos.
Odd to me that you win a national title in such recent times, and
No, you're right.
tickets were that readily available to Razorback fans. If the shoe was on the other foot, there would have been 100 Baylor fans in Bud Walton Arena.
But Arkansas is our only team. And you think about all those people that live in Texas and all those schools down there. And it's a different deal. I mean, basketball is a different deal. We take for granted the one-team state thing and what it means to attendance. And, Baylor's always been like this. But, when you go around their campus, their facilities, their football stadium, I mean, it is really nice. But it's small. Yeah. It's small. I mean, the first thing you notice is it's small. But it is really nice. And so they have maximized the luxury seating angle down there in football, and that's what they're doing in basketball.
For those that have been to Knoxville, they have a similar setup on the Brazos where people sailgate, and they, like, for football games and stuff. It's really unique kind of there, and that's where the new basketball arena is going.
Everything's on the Brazos River there. Everything's on the Brazos River. So it's a nice setting. It's a pretty campus, and I wish we'd won.
25 points from Ricky Council, 10 of 17 from the floor, made 3 of his 3 attempts at the free throw line. I don't think it took you long to figure out who the star of the game was after that one closed the other night.
Yeah, I mean, he made some shots in the first half when, Baylor really got off to a better start than Arkansas did, and Council made a couple of buckets that they really needed. Now, they really needed him at that point, and then, he helped key that run, and that was the best part of the game from a Razorback perspective.
Looked good, man. And he had that look in his eye, and he was starting to get rolling a little bit, had some and ones, and it was getting to the rim as well. Tommy, you mentioned the 2 threes he had earlier. They need more of that Ricky Council in SEC play down the stretch.
I made a note. He made a bucket at the beginning of the second half with 3 seconds on the shot clock that put Arkansas up 8 at that point. And you thought, well, maybe this rhythm and this run's going to continue, and it came to a halt. But Council had a huge shot there as the time was expiring on the shot clock to begin the second half.
I mean, he played well. I didn't think Arkansas played a bad game. I just thought Baylor won a really close, hard-fought game. And, standing on its own merits, without all the things we've seen leading up to this, we would have thought, hey, that's a heck of a game, and we just got beat. And I know people get tired of hearing it, but I sure would like to see this team play with all the bullets in their gun. That's the thing that, we're not going to see. And it's hard to turn the page from that, I admit. But it's I think that in every big game they've played. What would it be like if, we had all our arsenal right now? But, it's not going to work out that way. But, Baylor's good. But Arkansas is good too. And got to get back to business this week. This is a really important week because you got a chance to get to 500 in conference play if you can win them both. Hey, I know today may not be the day that you hop in the car and go out and go house hunting, but that day will be here, and it'll probably be here before the week's over. If you're thinking about buying or selling, or if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, let me recommend my friends at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. And I can recommend it because I partnered with them. It's not just something that I talk about. I partnered with them to sell a home, and I partnered with them to buy a home. And, we all think we know everything about everything sometimes, but I can tell you when it comes to the real estate market, you need a pro on your side. You need someone that knows more than you do. With a Weichert agent, you always get the best trained in the business. You get somebody that understands the market. That makes him a better negotiator. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, that's important. But most importantly, it gets you from contract to close. It gets you the deal that you want. And that's what they do at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've got an office in Fayetteville. They're in Springdale. They're in Bentonville. They're in Fort Smith. Pardon me. They've recently opened an office in Branson, Missouri. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Let's take some calls, starting with Charlie, who's in Camden. Charlie, go ahead, man. I know you got some thoughts on that game.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, I mean, Chuck, I'm with you, man. It's kind of like the Missouri game. I thought they played really well and gave themselves a chance to win, and it just didn't happen. I'll tell you what, I can't say enough about. I know Devo had some turnovers and things like that, didn't shoot as well, but for him to completely almost take Hagler or whatever his name is out of the game early. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Flagler. I'm sorry, I apologize.
It was 1 for 11 in that game, and that was a lot on Devo.
And then he switched to the 6'1" kid. What was his name?
Keontae George is probably you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Prior.
he switched to him and held him down. Now, George, I think, kind of kept it going pretty much all game. But, I do want to ask you guys something. I know everybody was on the officials again. I get all that, and we can whatever. But I do want to ask, Tommy, you've been in the world of officiating. Like players like, and I'm going to take you back, Jay Will last year, he had the reputation of always being in position and being a great charge taker. So he got, and I'm not saying all those calls were right, but most of them were. Jordan Walsh right now, he's got, we all know he's a violent defender. But I think there's times where he's getting called for things that I don't even know if he's even, it's like he's not even, trying to foul the guy. Now, granted, I know there has been some legit ones, but I know there was one the other day where he was the guy ran into him and he got called for a foul. So I don't understand. Has he gotten that reputation where people think sometimes maybe it's just a foul and he's just there because the guy falls? Does that happen, Tommy, where refs, they're watching previous films of other games and, it's like that guy develops a reputation. He fouls a lot. So anytime I see a guy fall near him, he fouls him. Is that kind of what happens, or what is kind of, because I think he's gotten some tough breaks.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. But anyway.
That's a good question that you asked there. I went back. I charted most of the fouls from the end of the first half and through the second half because I knew it'd come up in conversation. He had a weird sequence there with his third and fourth foul in the second half that came almost bang, bang. And the third one was when he was trying to defend the bucket and he was moving forward with his hips and made contact with the Baylor offensive player. TV angle's not great on that to see it. You really needed a baseline view. That was probably a foul, the way he was moving forward. Then, immediately inbounds the ball. That foul happened with 15:28. Then with 15:26, he gets called on one that doesn't look to be like a lot of contact. His arm's in one place. TV copy's not great, but didn't care for that one. But you go back to his second foul back in the first half. He had a forearm that created space driving to the rim, and it was a player control foul. That was, to me, a clear and obvious foul. So a lot of times Jordan comes in and the fouls he creates are clear and obvious. I thought his fourth foul the other day was not so clear and not as obvious, Chuck.
Yeah, I thought that one was questionable. It was just, fouls, whether they were legit, whether they weren't. You look at that personal fouls column by the end of the game, we had 2 guys out and a couple more with 4, and, the highest total they had was 3. And, you can always go back and say this was a bad call, that was a bad call, and there were some I disagreed with, honestly. But, it was just, it's simple. You just look at the stat sheet. Anybody can figure this one out. They won it at the foul line.
What about that jump ball? I've never seen I've seen it.
That was his fifth and final foul.
Yeah. That sure looked like.
Well, would you say that was was that a situation where you're probably trying to foul to stop the clock?
It didn't look.
He's reaching in. Now, I'm not saying I agree necessarily with the call in the way the play played itself out, but you're in a situation where if you're the referee and the game situation dictates, what is the defense likely to do in that situation?
You get whistle happy, but you're almost waiting to call something.
What you don't want is the contact to go to the next level, and then you've got a bigger problem.
Yeah,
but reaching in like that, you still have to play defense with your feet and not your hands. And where Jordan had his hands, there was a separation. They called a cylinder foul, but there was separation there. You could see that. So that's one of those 50-50 deals. But what's the defense generally trying to do in that situation late in the game?
Foul
and stop the clock. And I think that's exactly what was expected to have happened on that play.
I felt like there were several instances where Keontae George, like that one on Jalen Graham. So Graham's got his right arm out. Keontae grabs Jalen's arm and then shoves it back into his face. So it looked like an offensive foul when it wasn't. He grabbed his arm. There was one where I think it was Mikal, was straight up, and he was just doing that. And you always talk about not jumping into the offensive player. He was straight up, and they still called a foul. There were several times where I felt like, and then Keontae shoved his forearm into Jalen Graham, and they called a foul on Jalen Graham. There's several. It's the best player on Baylor. It's gonna be a lottery pick, and I've always said that I feel like certain players, high school, college, professional, get the benefit of the doubt in certain situations. He got that on Saturday.
There were 14 fouls in the second half. I went back and watched every one of them, made some notes. I thought I had questions with 4 of them. I thought 10 of them were pretty clear and obvious, or what I would deem correct calls. And listen, that's going to be that way in about every game, guys. There's going to be 4 or 5 calls that you don't like if you're objective. Now, if you want to get emotional and get keyboard happy during a game, well, you're going to come away with you think everything's against you. But the reality was, there's 3 or 4 calls that I didn't care for, and you probably could have seen go a different way.
Here's what I wondered about, and this was the call that I had a problem with.
All right.
I don't know why he teed him up. I've seen Muss do far, far worse. Now, Kip Kissinger, this was a blended crew. We don't see Kip Kissinger.
Never.
He's the one that called the tee. Why did he tee him up so quick? That was my question. Well, I'm not saying that Muss hadn't deserved. He's not gotten some this year that he deserved, frankly. But I don't think he deserved that one.
Well, let's go back to that when we got a little more time.
All right.
Because it was all ushered in by the player control call.
You're right.
Player control foul that Muss took great exception with. So we'll come back to that here in the 7 o'clock hour. All right, plenty to get to. We're brought to you by our friends at Pradco. They make the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Road. And if you're headed to the White River right now and you want to catch one of those trophy browns or big rainbows, and February is the month to do it, take along the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Road. It'll suspend in the strike zone and help you catch more fish, whether it's a heavy current or a light current. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Road. All right, be careful out on the roads this morning. We're keeping an eye on the road conditions and the weather. Chuck, Ty, and Tommy back with Hour 2 of the Morning Rush next.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas, in-office or telemedicine visits available. So to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical professionals for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book, with a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Light beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Frank Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a couple rounds of wintry weather. The worst of it across the north. We may see an inch of snow and sleet and up to a tenth of an inch of ice. So the roads are going to be treacherous with temperatures holding in the upper 20s north, mid-30s south. Overnight lows remaining in the 20s and 30s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Metters Lumber True Value, with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. There's always a Metters Lumber near you.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
2.3 to play. 2.3 to play in the game. Arkansas down 67-64. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for Devontae. The first one's up, front of the rim, no good. Rebound, Pinion in the corner. 3 at the horn, no good. 3 at the horn, no good. Devo missed the free throw. They batted it over to Pinion, and he missed the shot as time expired. What a ball game. Baylor wins it. Wow.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir. Hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday. We will talk more Razorback basketball coming up. Do want to update you on the weather. Still several wrecks in the River Valley area. There's a wreck right now right outside of Winslow. Guys, where is the tunnel relative to You're going to have
Tunnel's
help me
just
then.
north of the Crawford County line in extreme southern Washington County. Be south of Winslow by what? Less than 10 miles, Chuck.
Yeah, it's. I was looking at the iDrive Arkansas app a minute ago. I guess they had an 18-wheeler. It says at the 47-mile marker, which is about 3 miles south of West Fork. They've had an issue there, and the report from the tunnel, around the tunnel, is it is completely ice covered. I mean, it is ice covered around that area. That's according to the iDrive Arkansas app, which, by the way, is like the most awesome app out there. If you're driving, you need to download it. But looks like around Fort Smith's where it's really the worst.
You know, that stretch from the tunnel up to Winslow, I mean, I could see it last week driving through that stretch just where the snow got deeper because the elevation gets higher. So it just, makes sense that's going to be the worst stretch of getting over the hill if you're going south or north is in that stretch from about West Fork to the tunnel, just because the elevation changes so much.
I mean, you look at the you look at the road conditions right now. Everything from about right where the tunnel is, everything south of the tunnel, I would say right now. I'm not going to say it's completely manageable because it's not, but once you get to the tunnel, I mean, you know what's going to happen, and it's going to be like magic. You're going to come out on the other side of that tunnel, and you're going to be in a winter wonderland.
Yeah. There's also one in Benton County, 2.9 miles northeast of Garfield.
I'm looking at it right now. That's a tough spot too up there. A lot of curves on that road.
Yeah. So be careful.
A lot of places to spin out.
Yeah, be careful. Most of the schools have shut down for the day, or have went to learning at home, to AMI, I guess they call it now. So alternate method of instruction. I think that's what that.
Hey, by the way, too, it's not fun and games evidently down toward Mena. There's a wreck down around Mena right now on 71, and when you look at the road conditions right now going south on 71, it looks like down to around Mena there's going to be some issues. As you get on down closer to DeQueen and Ashdown and Texarkana, everything's going to be fine. Looks like if you're traveling east on I-40, Alma to Ozark to Clarksville, everything's fine there. But when you get to the western wall and you start going north or south, then there's going to be some issues.
You better really need to go. I mean, there better be a big
and
big
some
deal
people
on the line.
do. Some people do. And we'd like to know what it's like out there, too, for you if you're out and about. Give us a report.
My daughter went to work early this morning, had to cross the Midland Bridge in Fort Smith as the 540 bridge was closed or had a lot of wrecks and, obstructions on it.
Evidently, there still are, based on what we see here.
All right. Hot Take Monday, little road and weather update this morning. It's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance, all at the best prices and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Plus, they have a mobile service shuttle that will come to you to keep you camping. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
So I got a chance to talk with Terry Black, Anthony's dad, before the game at George's, and I didn't realize that him and Keontae George have apparently been like really good friends since the 7th grade. I know they mentioned that on the broadcast. Tom Harden, Fran Fraschilla did, but I thought that Devo was going to be on Keontae George, but that's initially AB guarded him to start. They did some switching of sorts, but that kid can play, and he really hurt you down the stretch on Saturday.
He's good. You kind of pick your poison. I mean, there have been games where it was Flagler, and Flagler's probably, I think he's their best overall player. I think Flagler's their best overall player. And, Devo shut him down. I mean, he had a terrible day. George is really good. And, they did a lot of switching. You're right. And you look at Cryer. I mean, Cryer's the one that hit 5 threes against Kansas. And, he's a smaller guy, but they're all good. You just kind of, you can shut down one of them. It's hard to shut down all three.
I want to say this about Anthony Black. So Coach told us after the game he's dealing with the wrist injury. We saw him bang knees with one of the Baylor guards. I mean, that guy was just toughing out. You could tell he was limping and gipping around a little bit throughout parts of the game. I know that he didn't have his best performance from scoring output, but he is just toughing it out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have told me that, what do you have, 7 points in the game? If you'd have told me going in, hey, Anthony Black's only going to get you 7 points and 6 rebounds, I'd have probably said, well, Arkansas is going to lose because he's the kind of player you got to have more than 7 out of most nights.
Here's the thing that I'm encouraged about coming out of this, and I've been encouraged by it really since the Missouri game, is they're displaying some real grit. And I frankly wondered if this team had it. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I wondered how gritty and tough this team was going to be. You got McDonald's All-Americans out there. You got, you don't have a lot of, what you would normally categorize as tough kids. And I wondered what that would be like. But I think that as we've gotten through this month, this is the only way they have a chance to win, is to play that gritty style. And we can talk about it until we're blue in the face, but two of the guys you planned on providing a lot of your offensive punch are gone. And, you got to dance with what you got. And, it's one of those situations where that's how they're going to have to win. Texas A&M's really, really good. Are they as good as Baylor? I don't know. I know South Carolina's not, and I know a lot of the teams that they're going to play the remainder of the schedule are not. And so I think that, what they displayed on Saturday will serve them well in conference play. And, I was looking at the net rankings, and I don't understand them. But Arkansas is, they're 28th right now. That's the third best net in the league. Still the third best net in the league. Now, I don't understand all that, and it's not the only factor. But this is still a good team. And what they displayed Saturday, I do believe, is going to help them win some conference ball games, because they're not done playing close games. There's going to be a lot more close games. And, I think they're displaying the style that you have to display to have a chance to win those games.
I really like the way the way Devo is taking over, huddling the team, taking charge amongst his own on the floor at times. I really like what he's bringing to the table right now.
Well, he's the one that's played the meaningful minutes in the meaningful games. He's the one that had played Baylor before. He knew about Flagler and Cryer and Flo Thamba and the other guys. At least, he was familiar with them. He's the one that's got to lead them. He's not the best player every day, but he's the one that's got to lead them.
So I'm with you. I think they, even in a loss, I think there were some positives. It's not a moral victory, but there's not all was lost at Baylor the other day, and they got a chance against A&M to kind of get back on the winning way, and like you said, get to 5-5 this week in the league. Eric Musselman Live. I presume we're on go for tonight.
As far as I know, I've not heard anything different yet.
On go for another show at Sassy's. You can stop in at Sassy's Barbecue and Grill tonight at Weddington. Have a good meal, warm yourself up. Come inside with Chuck and Coach Muss. And do you know who you're having on tonight with Coach yet?
Well, if you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
Well, I'm sorry. So stop in. I do want to know what you can have. Some of them wings that we all like. You can have a burger, catfish. You like the chicken fried steak. And, of course, the brisket's always the way to go in my book. It's Sassy's, 2 locations in Fayetteville. Eat, drink, and be sassy. Eric Musselman Live tonight at 7 o'clock.
I want to talk more about the conference championship games and the heroic effort that Patrick Mahomes displayed yesterday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Do you have 3 ex-wives in your current?
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Nicky Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They'll help you keep your car in tip-top shape while saving you money. So if you're like us and you want 23 to be the best year ever and you're ready for some inflation elimination, start today by driving better in a nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So Patrick Mahomes played on a high ankle sprain, which typically is about a 4 to 6 week recovery time. So our Morning Rush Daily Question is, what is the best injured/sick performance that you've ever watched in sports? Really, the one that we've gotten back the most have been Jordan's flu game, Willis Reed. Some of the others was a Kellen Winslow 1981 playoff game, Brett Favre, Larry Bird against the Pacers back in the day with a horrible back. Apparently Emmitt Smith played with a dislocated shoulder against the Giants. Guys, it's athletes are just different sometimes, and I think we saw another athlete go to incredible lengths to get a win on Sunday.
I don't remember the year, probably 2007 or 8, somewhere there. Tiger Woods had to go to an 18-hole playoff with Rocco Mediate for the U.S. Open, and he had a torn ACL, had a really tore-up knee, and it went to an extra hole, went 19 holes. He wins the U.S. Open on a torn ACL. I don't know if you remember that, Chuck, but it was a gutsy performance. So that one comes to mind for me because you could see him every shot, grimace in pain, barely getting up and down the slopes on that course. That one always sticks out to me when you talk about, because no one thinks about golf and injuries and battling through. He won the U.S. Open that day on a bad knee on a Monday playoff.
I think about Willis Reed. I'm glad somebody else mentioned Willis Reed. I was a little kid. You guys weren't even around then. But Willis Reed in the finals, they didn't know if he was going to play, and he came hobbling out, and the Garden just went crazy. And, I mean, hey, this was back when, this was 1970, 71. And coming back from a massive knee injury was very uncommon back then. I mean, if you blew out a knee, it was over. And that was a great moment. I remember the Jordan flu game. Michael Jordan was an icon at that moment, so in that moment in time, and so everything he did was magnified. And I remember Tiger too. And yeah, I mean, you see that competitive spirit in people, and you remember that.
You see these older guys like you're talking about with Reed's injury. These old guys that have had knee surgery back before arthroscopic. And,
oh yeah,
man, it looks like Frankenstein or something on their knee. I mean, it's ugly. I mean, you just hurt looking at the scars are like a foot long. Today they have them, you can't even find them.
If you watch the video from that game back then, I mean, I don't know that, you couldn't play like that now. No. I mean, you couldn't. But I mean, the game was slower then, and it wasn't as fast, and you were able to pull it off back then. But I mean, he's literally just dragging his leg from one end of the other, from one end of the floor to the other.
Yeah. Did they even have the shot clock? Was the shot clock in at that point?
Yeah, it was a 24-second shot clock back
It's not like he was guarding some bum either. He was have to guard Wilt Chamberlain
on
the other end of the floor.
That was, hey, that's back when the Knicks and the Lakers, I mean, you still had the logo playing for the Lakers and Gail Goodrich and, as you mentioned, Wilt Chamberlain, and, the Knicks had Frazier and
Earl the Pearl.
Well, they didn't have Earl the Pearl then. He played for the Baltimore Bullets then, and then he was traded to New York and ended up becoming one of the icons there too. But they had there were some great games back then.
Bill Bradley, I think, Dave DeBusschere.
Dollar Bill, Dave DeBusschere, you're right.
A guy that had a janky left
Dick
hand.
Barnett
yeah,
played
that's what
on
I'm thinking
that
of.
team.
Yep.
Dick Barnett played on that team. I mean, you gotta, those were the years when NBA players had summer jobs. They didn't make what they make now.
Yeah. Well, it was what Patrick Mahomes was able to do on that bad ankle was pretty special on Sunday. No doubt.
It sure was. It sure was. I know Chiefs fans were happy. Hey, did those referees get a game ball? Did those guys get a game ball?
I don't know if they did or not. Did you see them
get a ring?
Did you see them
get a ring?
They never get credited for the wins, but always
that's right.
Always in the losses. All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
I know Eric Musselman got asked about that block charge in the post game, and he can't really comment on it because it's critical of officials. You get fined, but we can if we want to. Guys, what did y'all make of the sequence where Mikael Mitchell got hit with a blocking foul?
What did you see? Because that's my whole goal in all of this, because you send me these raging texts during the game about the officials, and I ask you really hard questions like, well, why? And my goal in all of this with you is at the end you can explain why that was a correct or an incorrect call. So what did you see on the play that led to the technical foul on the block charge play on Mitchell?
Oh,
tell me what your eyes saw.
Mikael's.
Is this a referee's class? What are we doing here?
No, he just has all these emotional outbursts during the game, and
terrible
well, we all do.
It's a terrible call. You act like it's just me that I'm solo. You think Chuck was happy at that call? You think any other fan was happy at that juncture?
But we also get upset at calls that are correct
because it was a BS call.
I'm not
saying
that.
You want me to be happy about a BS call?
Tell me.
Are you kidding me?
I'm wanting you to tell me why it was a bad call.
Mikael was above the restricted area, and now I know the college and NBA level is different from a block charge. You're going to have to give what he has to beat. He has to be there before what?
On an airborne shooter, the only thing a legal defender can do is move backwards.
Okay, which he did.
Yeah. No, I thought he moved up, but I thought he got to his spot. I agree. I didn't like the call either. I thought it was a player control foul, and it was called a defensive foul.
And you know why?
I thought he got to his spot.
Yeah, I did too. I agree. I
mean, and look, I don't keep a rule book handy. Maybe I should, but I thought he was stationary. I thought he got to his spot. Now, does somebody 100% all the time completely still? That's impossible. But he got to his spot before the offensive guy did.
He's what you would call firmed up. He had gotten there.
Yeah,
he was
enough,
outside, and kind of the industry term, he had firmed up in his spot. But it is a fraction of a second. We agree that it's not an egregiously missed call, but I think when you get to look at it several times in slow motion, it's a call that I believe was a player control foul.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll go back and you'll look at the replay, the lead official's got his eyes where they're supposed to be on the feet of the defender, which was the last thing to get in place, as you'd expect. And I don't know if that's what led to his decision to make it a blocking foul. I didn't care for it. I'm with you guys. I didn't care for that one either.
5 points.
I don't know why he got teed up off that either. I mean, it's such a close call. Of course you're going to yell on a call like that. Of course you're going to yell.
I don't – the television
it was right in front of me.
Well, they had cut to a replay, and then Musk gets teed up, and we never really saw the outburst. And at that point, all you're seeing was being held back, and boy, let him go, and all the takes 9 men to hold him back.
But that was after the tee.
You would know more about
the tee.
Yeah, you would know more about what led to that because it wasn't shown on TV.
Well, I mean, all of a sudden he just teed him up. Now I don't know what he said, but his back was to me, but he was not animated when he teed him up. Now he got animated after that. He got real animated after that. But that's not what led, at least, I mean, from what I saw, and it was 5 feet away. I thought he was really quick with the trigger on that technical foul.
5 point swing.
If the Bet Saracen app had odds on Musselman getting a technical in this particular game, I'd have laid the house on it. I'd have unwound the rubber band because you had officials in this game that don't work in the SEC as their primary league, and the one that called the technical does not work any SEC games. And I felt like this was inevitable to happen on Saturday.
So is that on Eric after a bad call to keep his composure in that? Because I understood.
I
completely.
thought he did keep his composure there. There have been lots of times this season where I don't know how in the world he didn't get teed up. I'm going to be honest with you. That was not one of those moments Saturday. That was not one of those moments.
It's a 5 point swing because Flagler or Cryer knocked down the 2 free throws.
Well, it was going to be a 3 point swing either way. It was a 2 point swing, is really what it was. They got 5 points on that trip, but they were going to get 3 off the and one anyway.
Both free throws were made on the technical foul, coach. And it went to the score became. It went from 20 to 20, 25, 20, and all.
But it was not a 5 point swing. Correct. It was a 5 point trip. There's a difference.
I will always maintain the belief till I get put in the ground in 10 years or 50 years, whatever it is, that the best players in bang-bang calls get the benefit of the doubt. Keontae George is going to be a lottery pick. He's Baylor. You can debate he's Baylor's best player from at least an optics standpoint. And there were several instances in that game where they either could have called a foul on him or in that play they didn't, and they didn't do it. And especially at home, there was one where, again, he forearmed Jalen Graham, and they called it on Graham. The best players in those situations, bang-bang calls, get the benefit of the doubt. You will never, ever be able to convince me otherwise.
Foul count in the first half was Baylor had 11, Arkansas had 10, and that includes the technical foul on Musselman. So Baylor had more fouls called in the first half. I know everybody likes to use that metric and the free throw attempt metric. I look at the free throw attempts, and we can get into when they happened, and I don't think they were nearly as costly as some want to project and looking at the disparity. The 24 wasn't the problem when you look at how many Baylor got. It was the fact that Arkansas was only able to get themselves to the line 11 times. That's the bigger part of the free throw disparity in the game. People are upset about it, and I get it, but Baylor shooting 24 free throws is not egregious, Chuck. 24 is kind of a common number.
No, I don't. And when I say that it was very clear that the free throw disparity was the difference in the game, I'm not saying Arkansas got screwed. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you look at the numbers at the end of the game, I mean, everything else favors Arkansas. I mean, you were a little bit minus in the second chance points, a little bit minus in points off turnovers, but most of the time when you shoot 51%, the other guys shoot 34%, you overcome that pretty easily.
Yeah. The number that stood out to me was 4 made three-point baskets. We've been talking for weeks, and I've been making the point that, hey, if this team can continue to make 7 or 8 threes and not get carried away with attempts, they'll have a good chance to win the ball game in front of them. They made 4. They were 4-14. 28%, not horrible. But the difference in 4, and let's just say they traded 3 more baskets for 2s, that's 3 points right there. They needed to make a few more three-pointers in this game.
Well, you can say they needed to, but I don't know that it was an expectation that they would. I mean, I think Arkansas, what we saw last week in terms of the way they shot three-pointers at home, there may be games here or there where they shoot the lights out. But, I think that's probably what we're, when they're going well, I think that's what we're going to see. I hesitate to say that's as good as it's going to get because there may be a game or two where it's better. But I think when we look at the team and say, man, they're shooting threes well, I do think it's about what we saw last week. But those are home games. And, generally teams don't max out on their three-point capability on the road. I mean, you do that every once in a while, but not that often. So I was, you're right. They needed to shoot more or they needed to have more threes, I guess, at the end of the day to, make it a win. But I don't know that that's a realistic expectation. I just think they are what they are right now.
I just think that's part of that. When you look over the last 6 or 8 ball games, that's part of the winning formula. They've been a little more consistent.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
Making 6 to 8 threes, and they just didn't do that Saturday. To me, that was part of the ingredients that were missing.
And speaking of threes, we can talk about that final sequence, final play. So Musselman said after the game that's a play design they called Dagger. Now, Devo was supposed to hit the first one and miss the second. He missed the first one. Jalen and a Baylor player had a great tip out to Joseph. That's your supposed best three-point shooter. Getting a wide, no one was within 10 feet of Joseph in that corner three.
His only shot of the game.
I went back and looked at it. It's very difficult when you're not playing a lot of minutes, and he played early on in the first half and then just came in at the very end. It's very difficult to come in and then hit a shot like that. He is, in 5 road games, he's made 2 shots, and he's way more consistent, as all of the young players are at home, but when people are advocating for, you got to play Joseph more, he just hasn't shown the consistent ability to hit shots on the road relative to at home.
Well, just to get that shot, let's go back and what you just said there at the beginning. He was supposed to make the first shot. He didn't. The most remarkable thing to me in all of that is that even though he missed the first shot, they ran the play, and they ran it to perfection. But, the odds, first off, of getting in a spot where you've got to look there, those odds are not good. To me, that's good coaching. And I know the shot didn't go in. But, again, the plan was to make the first one, do that on the second one. He missed the first one, and they still ran the play, and he still got the look. But those things happen so quickly. And, I don't care how good a shooter you are, odds are in that situation you don't make that shot.
It had tied the game. I won't go as far as saying that could have been a career-defining moment. It would have been a memorable moment if Arkansas went on to win the game. But I do wonder, for a freshman, what would that have done if it had went in, and it didn't, to lift his confidence that had to pump him up, blow him up pretty good if that would have went in, but it didn't.
He plays confident at home. He hasn't on the road. I know he came in against Vandy and hit that and 1 and then a 3, but in the other 4 games he just kind of looks timid. And that's, again, expectations, a younger player, but you look at the stats and that bears it out kind of.
Well, again, lots of good shooters miss open shots during the flow of the game. Just because you've got a good look doesn't mean that you automatically are going to make the shot. And even the best shooters in college basketball are going to be well below 50% on that shot in that situation. Hey, one thing I do know, we talked about the weather a little bit earlier today. We're going to keep talking about it. I hope your heater works. I hope everything's in order. I hope, first off, all this ice doesn't wreck everything. Let me talk to you about Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. We are in the time of year when we talk about the heating system. We're going to get to the point in the year where we talk about your cooling system. And, the thing I like about Paschal is their plant protection program. And regardless of the season, if you've got what I call preventative maintenance, what they certainly do on a regular basis, which is make certain that everything you've got's working well. When you're in that program, weeks like this don't bother you. The things that you can control, they're going to control for you. Now, these are professional people, and they are the best in the business. They've been doing it for over 50 years. They started in Northwest Arkansas, and if you can hear me right now, there's a good chance they've expanded into your area. So keep that in mind as we move through not only the winter, but also as we move on into the summer as well. They're Arkansas-owned, they're Arkansas-operated. Professional people, professional service, and you can log on to gopascal.com.
Chuck, it's 23 degrees here in Fayetteville. I'm just looking at the forecast for the next couple of days. Not even going to climb out of the 30s till Wednesday.
Yeah, it sounds like Wednesday's when we get well.
And pretty good chance of precipitation the rest of today at 80%, tomorrow at 60%. I know you've been keeping an eye on the app there and road conditions and wrecks and stuff out there. It makes me wonder, though, about tomorrow night's game simply because A&M's got to find a way to get a plane into Fayetteville, and that may be no small challenge in the next 48 hours.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to have to see how the day unfolds on that. I can tell you from experience over the years, I mean, it's amazing the weather you can get through to play a ball game. And so I wouldn't discount that by any stretch. But normally teams do travel the day before. Like if the game was in College Station, Arkansas would travel today. And, you get there and you go to the arena and then you got to practice the next day. And so I don't know if the conference would require them to come in on game day. I don't know if they'd push it back to Wednesday. I don't know that it's not all systems go. We'll just have to see how the day unfolds. But normally, A&M would come in today, and we'll just have to see if the weather allows that.
And I don't see how that's not going to limit the crowd if they do play at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. We saw a smaller crowd for that LSU game, but still a vocal crowd.
It's a great crowd. It's a great crowd.
But the numbers just aren't going to be the same. It's just not possible to get as many people there. But I would imagine they'd have a pretty similar turnout to what they had against LSU if they do play the A&M game as scheduled.
Maybe. Ice is more difficult to travel on than snow. Right. I was thinking about this Saturday, guys. Last week we played in the snow. Everybody wondered what the crowd. Let's move the game up. Nobody's going to come. There were 10,500 people. They scanned 10,500 tickets to get into Bud Walton Arena. We talk about how Baylor had a packed house Saturday. What a home floor atmosphere. How hostile it was. They had 300 people less for that ball game Saturday than we had in the snow last Tuesday night to play LSU. So let's not take, when we talk about smaller crowds, let's not take for granted the fact that, hey, a lot of people are going to go watch the Razorbacks play regardless of the weather. Now, again, ice is different than snow, and I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow night. But, again, a lot of people kill for 10-5. We talk about how it's a smaller crowd on a snowy night.
And that 10,000 plus that you had in Waco, Chuck, 1,000 of those were Arkansas fans. They don't even clear 10,000 with Arkansas fans. It was like Chuck mentioned in hour one, with the exception of the student section, there was red in every single section in that arena. And I was pleasantly surprised at how many Arkansas fans made the trip this year.
We have such a huge alumni base in Dallas. And I talked to a lot of Razorback fans that had driven over from Dallas. A lot of people that, you see once or twice a year at a game. And, there were a lot of them there. And, we commented on the air how, again, with the exception of the two student sections, how you could see, the red was visible. And you didn't have to look. You didn't have to, squint your eyes to try to find, the red shirts. And there were a lot of Razorback fans there. They everybody watched a good game. It was, it was a fun atmosphere. I'll give Baylor credit.
Fran Fraschilla was very complimentary of how Arkansas played if you listen to television. But the only bad part, Chuck, and I don't know if someone told you about this. I know you commented on it. So the hand in front of the
yeah, it was a Hog fan, too.
Was it a Hog fan?
Well, when Arkansas went up for 3, they were holding up at 3. So I don't understand how in the year 2023 we can't have a TV shot without fans sticking their hands in front of the camera lens.
Well, that's part of the reason that they're, I guess, building a new facility. There are some deficiencies in the Farrell Center. It's been a great home for them. I'm not knocking it at all, but you can tell when you drive up, it's time for a new building.
Yeah. So that's something that it doesn't happen.
They don't
Bud
have
Walton.
the mezzanine level.
Right.
They don't have what we'd call the mezzanine level
Right.
there that allows you to put that camera at the spot you're talking about.
Okay. So when you're on the kind of the front edge there, you don't of the upper deck, or like I said, the mezz, you don't have anyone that can possibly even get in front of you. So should be interesting. We'll keep you updated. As far as we know, it's 6:00 tomorrow night, and big week for Arkansas. 2 wins this week. You're back to 500 in the league, boys.
Yeah, I mean that's that's the thing that you've got to focus on right now. It'd be nice to, go back and replay some of that Baylor game, come out of there with a win, but you can't. And I'm going to tell you, Texas A&M, I know they struggled to beat Vanderbilt on Saturday night, but they were coming off their best win of the year. I mean, they went to Auburn, and if you watch that game, and I did that night, from about the 10-minute mark in the first half, A&M was in total control. They were in total control. And so Arkansas's got their hands full tomorrow night.
All right, should be a lot of fun. We'll have the game for you right whenever they play it. And we'll assume they're going to play it at 6:00. We'll have it right here for you on ESPN Arkansas. It's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, always at the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels. Plus, they have a mobile service shuttle that will come to you to keep you camping. It's all at Wheels, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
We're going to hear from Eric Musselman coming up in your Hog Update, get his thoughts on how his team played. And again, playing through a lot of injuries right now, not just with Nick Smith Jr. and Trevin Brazil, but a lot of guys banged up. Mikael Mitchell, for him to come back as quick as he did, you could just tell that guy wants to play.
Yeah, so we'll get more of that coming up, more from Coach on the way. Hey, February's the month I love to get to Gaston's. Guys, I got a trip planned. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to play hooky a day or two in February because I'm going to the White River. Those big browns, trophy rainbows, they're going to be biting in February because they reopen everything up to all of the fishing. And if you haven't made a reservation, now's the time to do that at Gaston's White River Resort. You get 40% off your lodging right now when you stay 2 or more nights at Gaston's. It's winter rates through the end of February. Got a little bit of discount for March, and then they're into summertime. So now's a great time to go and save some money. Get you a guided fishing trip with one of their experts, take you out, put you right on the big ones, and have some of them fish you've always dreamed about at Gaston. Plus, the restaurant reopens the first weekend of February as well. 870-431-5202 for your reservation. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The Powerball jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $500 million. So, what would you do if you won?
I would buy a mansion, buy my dream car.
I've always wanted to go to Dublin, sit in a pub, and just kind of see what life's like.
I'm probably going to pass out.
Got your ticket? If not, visit your local lottery retailer for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot of more than $500 million. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
It's a new year. Why not put a new-to-you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today to schedule your consultation. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, Gee Willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. That's it for today. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
What's new in 23 at the Golf Nut? Peen G430 woods and irons arriving January the 26th, and TaylorMade Stealth 2 woods arriving February 17th. New Titleist Pro V1 will be in stock January the 24th. Book a time on their Hitty base with the TrackMan technology, or play a round of golf on one of their mini courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Just want to update everyone on the weather before we get into our hog updates. We've got wrecks over by Y-City. There's several in Sebastian and Crawford County as well. And then you've got two now between West Fork and Winslow, guys. I think there's one that just happened. You got one in North Arkansas. What's that, Gateway?
Okay.
Are the kind of the ones that are on the
up
iDrive
around
Arkansas.
Gateway, right on the border up there.
Yeah, on the iDrive Arkansas app.
Yeah, that Winslow, West Fork, from the tunnel to about West Fork, that's the highest elevation on your climb if you're going from Alma up to Fayetteville. So it's pretty normal that those are the worst, most treacherous spots when you got to climb that hill and get over the hill at Winslow.
I was looking at one of them. It looks like one's in the northbound lane, about 4 miles south of West Fork. And the other one is also in the northbound lane, it looks like, based on the iDrive Arkansas app.
You know, how many days, if you're going south to north or north to south, doesn't matter, you come through that tunnel, it's like the whole ecosystem changes.
Oh, it does.
I mean, you can be sunny on the south side of the tunnel, and you'll come through that tunnel, and it'll be cloudy and looks like it's getting ready to rain. It's amazing how you go through that tunnel, and you can go into a whole different world more days than not.
Yeah, and I mean, right now it looks like, right about the time you hit that tunnel is where it does change. And I'm not saying it's great south of the tunnel, but you look at the map right now and, that's where it's going to get a whole lot worse. But as people know that drive it this time of year, that's the case. It looks like the stretch from what I can make out, it looks like the stretch from the Washington County line right up to Fayetteville. When you top the hill there at Greenland, looks like that stretch is maybe the worst out there, except for the bypass around Fort Smith, which is just not as bad as it was. Looks like there's a couple of wrecks right now.
Yeah, 540's had several accidents this morning, including early before daylight today. The 540 bridge, they had closed down briefly because of a number of wrecks on the 540 bridge crossing from Crawford to Sebastian County. Midland Boulevard Bridge still passable, but it's just tough going over those bridges over the rivers right now. And those, I can't imagine those high elevation bridges on I-49 right now, how tough those may be.
Yeah, those are the tough ones right there. You got a lot of cold air passing underneath those bridges.
So if you're driving this morning, please be as safe as you possibly can. All right, let's hear from Coach Muss after the game. Here is what he had to say about his team playing through injuries.
Mikael Mitchell was supposed to be out over a week and a half to 2.5 weeks. He misses one game and suits up and gives us great minutes on a bad ankle. Anthony Black is extremely banged up. He continues to suit up and put forth an incredible effort. Ricky Council, obviously, with the minutes he's played, has been banged up. Devo's been bothered by stuff, and just really impressed with the guy's effort.
So Anthony's doing with the wrist. Then he bangs knees with one of the guys. And something we haven't mentioned that Bill and Truman and Joe and Coe texting about. He got tackled on that one play, and they didn't call anything.
I was okay with that one.
But he goes up, and it was kind of a weird sequence. Great backdoor cut. Devo finds him, goes up, hits the layup, and then starts going back. And I think it was Flagler. I don't think he meant to, but he just ran over him. And I don't know how you don't blow the whistle in that situation.
He was looking, like I said, the bodies were off balance. He got tangled up. It was Love that he got tangled up with. And then Anthony's, they're going to the ground, just reactionary, kind of grabs a hold of him and pulls him down as well. So, I mean, that's probably a nothing. It looked worse than it probably really was.
What did you see, Chuck?
I'd have to go back and watch it. I mean, it happens real time when I'm doing the game. So I mean, I don't have the advantage of replay. I'll have to go back and watch the game again. I haven't done that yet.
So they lose by 3. The women's team also lost by 3 last night. Heartbreaker to Ole Miss, 76-73. So both teams unfortunately fall by 3 this week. And I know that was tough for Mike Neighbors and his team last night.
They were up by 19 at halftime. Yeah. I watched a lot of the second half of that. They just couldn't stop them. I mean, Ole Miss got rolling, and they just couldn't stop them.
I think that's pretty much all the Hog news we got. You have anything else for the weekend? Drake Greenlaw's not playing in the Super Bowl. Brandon Allen's not playing in the Super Bowl. I was hoping one of those guys, 2 former FHS guys, would get a chance to win a ring, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen this year.
Nope. With all this ice, if you need a generator, you might call Mr. Sparky. They can get you hooked up.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Now, I watched some of the other games, but being in Waco, Chuck, kind of like yourself, it was hard to get. We watched a little bit pregame at George's, but some weird games in the Big 12 SEC Challenge this weekend. Really, the game in Norman was the most startling and surprising to me. Is the Oklahoma Sooners thrashed Alabama.
It was worse than this final score. They were down 30 at one point in this game.
93
I
to
didn't
61.
see that coming at all.
No
one did.
You know, I said this more than once. You know, earlier in the year, there are times I watch Alabama and I think they could win the national championship. There are other times I watch them and I think they could go out the first weekend of the tournament. Obviously, this was one of those weekends. I thought they were past that. I mean, I really did. I thought they were past that. But you know, they had to really come back to beat Mississippi State at home the other night. And, you know, I know Oates was really on them after that game. And I thought that was bad for Oklahoma. I thought Alabama had come to town spitting fire, but they didn't. And, you know, Oklahoma they just ran them out of the building.
West Virginia, Huggy Bear gets a win against a ranked Auburn Tigers team. West Virginia is not a great ball club this year. I think they only have one conference win, but Morgantown's a tough place to play, and Bruce Pearl and company found out about that on Saturday.
Well, I just think it's one of those strange places, too. I remember when we went to Iowa State and this thing years ago. I mean, it was like, where are we? And, you know, you're just so out of your element. And I'm not surprised by that. I think Auburn's really good at home, and they're not bad on the road in the SEC. I just think that, you know, that's one of the things that makes this challenge interesting is that, you know, I mean, it seems like Kentucky plays Kansas every year, and lately it's been, you know, the Rick Barnes Bowl in the other marquee game. But, you know, some of these matchups, you do go to places you've not been before. Arkansas did, and Auburn did. And it's tough to go win at places like that.
Texas Tech goes to LSU and gets a win for the Red Raiders. You've got Iowa State who down to Missouri, and they lose 78-61. Mississippi State.
I thought that was the win of the day for the league, though, was Missouri beating Iowa State.
Mississippi State beating TCU was a was a
Yep,
surprise,
that's another
too.
good one, too.
In Starkville as well. The other two SEC-only games, Georgia beat South Carolina, and then you also, Chuck, you referenced A&M getting a win against Vanderbilt, which was not an easy game. The Rick Barnes Bowl, 82-71, the final. Tennessee was beating them, I think, by 20 points at one point, though.
Tennessee played well. Tennessee played really, really well, and you'll probably hear the conversation this week shift from Alabama to Tennessee. And, is Tennessee the best team in the league? And maybe they are. There's an ebb and a flow to it. We got a whole month before we get to March.
Kansas had never lost 4 straight under Bill Self, still haven't as they go to Lexington and beat a hot Kentucky team 77-68. I think Jalen Wilson had a pretty good game, and that was really the marquee game of the day. And for Bill Self and the Jayhawks, that much-needed win against Cal and company.
Yeah,
and Kentucky fans are mad again.
Looking at just the Tuesday, Wednesday schedule, nothing that's just I'll be honest, the Arkansas A&M game from an intrigue standpoint, probably as good as there is on the schedule this week. Alabama plays Vanderbilt tomorrow night. Ole Miss and Kentucky. I mean, there's just nothing. Tennessee plays Florida. Auburn plays Georgia. LSU, Missouri. I mean, there's just nothing in this middle of the week stretch that's just overwhelming when you just look at the games on paper.
Well, we tend to focus on our team, and that's natural. But, A&M's 7-1 in the league, and they're looking at, this is a game. Gosh, if they could come to Fayetteville. A&M doesn't win in Fayetteville very often. But I'm sure they're thinking, man, if we can go to Fayetteville and get a win right there, I mean, we're 8-1. Alabama's showing some, they're showing some chinks in the armor. I'm sure A&M's viewing this ball game as a game where they can cement themselves as a legit contender.
I mean, logic would tell me if I'm A&M, I'm going to do all I can to get in here and play this while the weather's bad. Maybe the fans stay away. Maybe I feel like I'm getting a little bit of an edge by not having to play in front of a full Bud Walton arena if I can get in here while the weather's bad and get this thing done.
Well, maybe. Maybe. They can't control that, though.
Do the rankings come out yesterday or today for basketball?
Today, because they play games on Sunday.
Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if A&M found itself in the top 25. We'll have to wait and see on that, but hopefully they can get here. That's kind of the question we've been asking ourselves this morning. Hour 3 is coming up here on the Morning Rush on Hot Take Monday. Again, our number 877-377-6963. We're also going to update you on the weather when we come back. I know that's been a big topic for a lot of you driving out this morning. Stay safe. We'll be back in just a bit.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
I am not who you say I am.
I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-K085 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Have a loan with a variable to balloon rate? That might be a problem if it's due to reprice soon. Let Farm Credit fix your problem with a long-term fixed interest rate loan. Farm Credit's terms are the longest in the ag industry, ensuring you'll have peace of mind for years to come. At Farm Credit, you have nothing to lose. When rates begin to drop, you can easily readjust your rate again with no refinancing application, no new appraisals, no new title work. We make it simple. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance, and Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren, 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a couple rounds of wintry weather, the worst of it across the north. We may see an inch of snow and sleet and up to a tenth of an inch of ice. So the roads are going to be treacherous with temperatures holding in the upper 20s north, mid-30s south. Overnight lows remaining in the 20s and 30s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Metters Lumber True Value, with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. There's always a Metters Lumber near you.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
2.3 to play. 2.3 to play in the game. Arkansas down 67-64. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for Devontae. The first one's up, front of the rim, no good. Rebound, Pinion in the corner. 3 at the horn, no good. 3 at the horn, no good. Devo missed the free throw. They batted it over to Pinion, and he missed the shot as time expired. What a ball game. Baylor wins it. Wow.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Hour number 3 of the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday. This basketball team has had some issues, but effort has not been one of them. I know that Eric Musselman talked about that in the postgame. We'll hear what he had to say coming up, and we'll also give you an update on kind of what's going on here in Arkansas with all the inclement weather, the ice that we have.
May not feel hot, but it is a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone Alliance, the best RVs at the best prices and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Plus, Wheels has a mobile service shuttle that will come to you to keep you camping. It's all at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Fieldhouse Marketing, your Northwest Arkansas NIL authority. Fieldhouse works with the athletes to connect them with opportunities that maximize their own potential and benefit the Northwest Arkansas economy.
Guys, I thought the Razorbacks, especially having to fight through so many on-ball screens, you've got 3 really capable guards that can shoot the basketball. Defensively, that's probably one of the better games they played all year.
I thought they played a hard-nosed game. You know, they were, they held a team that had just, done a lot of what they wanted to do offensively earlier in the week against Kansas. I mean, they held them to 67, and I didn't think the defense was the problem.
Here was Muss on his team's effort earlier this weekend.
Should our fan base like not winning games? Absolutely no. But I do feel that the respect for how hard an undermanned team is playing, a team that's banged up, continues to fight and scrap. And I'm really proud of how hard our team has played, especially of late. There's no team that can play harder than what we played tonight.
That loss drops them to 0-5 on the road this season. I know 4 of those come in conference play, but in those games as of late, they've definitely seemed to put more effort and are playing more as a cohesive team.
You can hear the frustration in his voice. I mean, it's got to be frustrating when you feel like you're doing all you can do, playing as hard as you can play. You're just limited, like, half a hand tied behind your back. You don't want to make excuses, but, Chuck, I just hear frustration when Eric Musselman talks there.
No doubt about it. I mean, he's frustrated, and how could you not be? I mean, how could you not be when you think about, what's not there? And, he's obviously very proud of the guys that are playing through some injuries right now. And, obviously if Arkansas had Nick Smith on the floor right now, they'd be a different team. And I do think there's legitimate frustration about that, yes.
They get A&M tomorrow night, and I know we were contemplating whether the Aggies were going to be able to fly in today, and it's because of the weather. I'm looking on the iDrive Arkansas app, we've mentioned several wrecks already this morning, and I just wonder if the Aggies are going to be able to get here with what's going on, not just in Northwest Arkansas, but all over the state.
Have to see what the weather does.
Yeah. I mean, it's they do a lot of, they can do a lot of good stuff at that airport at XNA, and normally a team would fly into Drake. I don't know if they'd be able to do that. I was just kind of looking at the map like you are. Hey, we've talked a lot about Northwest Arkansas and Fort Smith. I know we've got a lot of people that listen in North Central Arkansas. It looks like, on Highway 65 between, I guess, Clinton and Greenbrier, it's starting to get bad. If you're on 7, looks like all the way through Newton County it's bad. If you're on the Pig Trail, from the I guess the Madison County line, it's bad. But, you get down around Ozark, Clarksville, looks like it's okay. But a couple of wrecks still on 49. That's where it's going to get bad. It's when you go through the tunnel, head north.
South of Jasper's not the place to run off the road.
No, that's but hey, some people got to get out and go. That's just the reality. But those are not the worst places right now, but it doesn't look like they're doing real well.
My dad always said you found out on days like today who was on salary and who got paid by the hour.
That's funny.
The people that got paid by the hour always showed up, and the ones on salary couldn't get down their driveway.
Let me ask y'all this. When stuff like this happens, are y'all Apple Maps, Google Maps, or Waze guys? What do you get on
I
when
do
you're
the
driving?
iDrive Arkansas app. I think it's if you're traveling in our state, even if it's a normal day, I mean, you find out where the wrecks are, you find out where the construction is. I mean, we tend to gripe sometimes about how, we don't always have the information at our disposal from the state. But in this case, man, I mean, I don't know how you can go wrong with this thing.
I know on Waze it updates you with the wrecks, like you're saying, Chuck, and also it's got the cops, where the cops are as well, so you know where you can speed and you know where you can't. That's the
all that stuff has to be reported, though. All that stuff's got to be reported, I think, by somebody. But it is, today's one of those days where I know that if you've got to be out and about, or if you've got kids or whatever, I mean, weather's a big deal today.
One other update, and I don't think we mentioned the bridge in Barling that crosses over to Crawford County and back forth. Lock and Dam 13, it's ice covered right now. I think they've had a wreck or two there. So if you're going 59 south out of Barling towards Crawford County or through the bottoms towards the Barling area, that bridge may be a problem right now.
And you said the Fort Smith School District, or the Fort Smith.
They went to virtual learning.
Okay,
today.
All Northwest Arkansas, and I'm assuming North Central Arkansas, Harrison Mountain Home.
Many of them, I hadn't seen anything from the Boone, Baxter, Marion County area, but most school districts in Benton, Washington, Crawford, Sebastian counties, and South have went to virtual learning today.
See, I always thought ice days were bummers because the snow, you get snowballs, snowmen, fights, all that stuff. But with ice,
ice is a whole different ball game. Hey, let me mention, too, we were talking earlier about there's a wreck down around Y City. For most of the morning, a lot of the bad stuff stopped at Mena. I'm looking now all the way down to, I think that's the Sevier County line down in that area. All the way to from Mena to DeQueen, it looks like it's getting bad.
Jeez Louise. Now, I'm assuming, Chuck, as someone that just started looking at this app this morning, the red is the worst, right? Or is it purple?
Well, purple tends to be the snow. Red is ice patches. They've got a key there at the top right where you can go to, and it kind of it'll update you on what's what there. But it's when you look at the colors right now, and it's to be expected. I mean, it's in the northwest corner primarily, but got a little bit in north central Arkansas, and just all the way down the western border right now to DeQueen. It looks like it's starting to get bad.
Got a text that Yellville is out of school today.
I'm sure of that.
Is Kyle Parkinson from Yellville or Flippin? I always forget. I know it's one of the.
It's the Twin Cities.
Yeah, it's one of the. They're up there. I can't remember one, but we team camp we played Flippin in Yellville back in the day at Harding. I remember that was.
It might be from Summit. It
was a lot of fun. We'll keep updating you throughout the morning on this weather, but let's jump back into Razorback basketball for a sec. What else, guys? What else should we take away from that 3-point loss to a ranked Baylor? And by the way, a team that just won their 6th straight game. I mean, this Baylor team is red hot right now. So for you to go in there, Jim, them shoot their worst percentage I think they have all season, it's hard because you could have won, but there's a lot of good things you can take away out of that.
So if I told you Baylor was going to be in the Elite Eight again, or the second weekend, would anyone push back from that and say you're crazy?
Certainly could be.
Certainly could. Arkansas went toe-to-toe in their building, not neutral site, with a team that we all agree is maybe even Final Four worthy, but certainly second weekend worthy, and Arkansas goes to toe-to-toe on their home court. I think there's a lot to take away from that. Maybe in a neutral site you come out the winner. I don't know, but the point is, if you've written Arkansas off, this isn't a team that can get to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. Pump the brakes a little bit. I think as far as their ability to play and get up for a game, they showed it Saturday they can go toe-to-toe with the best.
They've got a lot of grit, and they've got a lot of fight. And when you're down some guys, that's what you have to have. I mean, that's, you don't have a chance without it. And, I wondered if they would develop that, quite honestly. But I think they have. And I think it's going to serve them well. I don't think they're going to go winless on the road. And, I think they're going to win the vast majority of the games they've got left at home. And so, this is still a good team. I mean, it's, we were all expecting, I think, instead of them, we thought we'd be talking about a 20-win team right now. I know people thought about that. I mean, 20 wins today. I don't mean at the end of the year, but I think people were thinking right now they might be a 20-win team. It's not worked out that way. But, if Smith comes back at some point, obviously that's a big boost. If he doesn't, I still think they're displaying the type personality that you have to win some games when you get into a tournament situation. These are going to be on neutral floors. Generally speaking, you look at NCAA tournament games, you don't have a team shoot 51%. A lot of these games are tough games, 2-3 possession games. And even though they didn't win Saturday, when they get to the point where they're playing games like that in March, and I think they will be, you hope that something like that, something like what we saw Saturday serves them well.
I know Jalen Graham didn't shoot from the free throw line well, but he had some other points in the game where he had 9 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 critical steals during the course of that game. Also had 4 assists, did have those 4 turnovers as well. Thought Mikal Mitchell came in and gave you some good minutes. The odd thing about this team is, and I know they're still in flux with the injuries and stuff, is by this point, typically Muss has those 7, maybe 8 guys that he just goes to, but he's still going up and down the bench and playing guys in significant minutes that you maybe didn't expect to play at this point.
Well, I mean, you think about at the start of the year, even with Brazil and Smith, we talked about how, well, he's going to end up playing probably 8 guys. When the going gets tough, he's going to play around 8 guys. Well, now you're down to 6, with those 2 guys. So if you're going to go 8 or 9, you got to play guys maybe you didn't plan on playing. And I sort of think that's where they are. Graham filled up the stat sheet, the good and the bad. And sometimes with a guy like that, you got to take the bad with the good. But part of the reason that, just to be honest, if you had a full roster, I don't know that Graham's in there to shoot those 4 free throws. This guy's shooting 35%. I mean, it's not like it's the first time he's missed some free throws. And, if it was a situation where you got your full roster, he's giving you all the good things during the game, you probably don't have him in there. You probably don't have him in there then. So they've got some guys like that right now where you've got to take the bad with the good. And, again, if you had your full roster, that might not be the guy at that point. But because you don't have your full roster, it has to be.
And with a foul-prone Jordan Walsh and with Mikal Mitchell in foul trouble in the game, you had to have someone to give you more fouls. That's where Walsh comes in. He had 4 fouls in the game, and you probably needed those on some defensive stops at places.
Well, I mean, you end the ball game, you got 2 guys fouled out, and you got 2 more guys with 4. So, I mean, and again, you start doing the math. I mean, you're
and they're all big guys, by the way.
Yeah,
all
right.
4 of those players you're just talking about were, guys that play on the front line.
Hey, he mentioned Mikal Mitchell, and I think that's probably worthy of a little bit more conversation. I will tell you, when he got hurt in that game, the initial fear was his foot was broken. That was the initial fear. And, even after that, he's probably going to be out a couple of weeks. And, he missed 1 game. And that's a tough kid. That's a kid that wants to play. That's a kid that may not be from here, but he's happy to put that uniform on. He's playing for his teammates. He's playing for the program. And sometimes we lose sight of that, the effort that's required. Not everybody plays hurt, he did. And so I think you got to give him a lot of credit for that.
How much do those 2 brothers really try to outdo each other? Is there sibling rivalry there? You're around them behind the scenes. What do you sense?
They're an interesting pair. They have, Makai's a little bit different than Mikal. Mikal's probably, they're both pretty vocal. I mean, they're both pretty vocal guys. But they both love playing, and neither one of them is afraid of contact or afraid of mixing it up or whatever you want to bring. I think Makai is a very skilled big man. I've been impressed from day one at his ball skills, and for a guy that's that big. And Mikal's got a lot of ball skills too. But I think both those guys have been, they've turned out to be really key guys as we move down the stretch. I don't know that was the initial plan, but I think that, they are where they are, and they're going to need both of them.
Sorry, go ahead, Chuck.
Well, I was whatever you're going to say, you go ahead and say it.
You always look for soft hands in a big man, and Mikal has those. I've been, like you said, thoroughly impressed when he's rolling the rim, these little short rim runs. He rarely turns the ball over / drops it. I think
he's
that's
got ball
essential.
skills. Hey, let me talk to the businesses that are considering NIL marketing. I know everybody hears about this. We talk about it all the time. I know many of our listeners and business owners would love to take advantage of new NIL opportunities and connect their brand to a university athlete. There are a lot of college athletes out there. We talk about the big ones, but there are a lot of them out there. If you're one of those businesses, let me recommend Fieldhouse Sports Marketing. They're your Northwest Arkansas NIL authority. They'll help you get started. They work with athletes to connect them with opportunities that maximize their own potential, benefit your business, benefit the Northwest Arkansas economy. Appearances, social media, commercial production, community engagement, charity events. There are all kinds of activities that they can connect you with. Call 202-5031. That's 202-5031. Or visit fhsportsmarketing.com. They'll get you started. That's fhsportsmarketing.com. Welcome to the Fieldhouse.
Let's talk to Robert in Fort Smith. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, guys. I was impressed with Graham, though, because, like you said, he wouldn't be playing that much if we don't. And for what I felt like, for what we saw out of him, if we keep getting that out of him with us being, down like we are, I think he's got the potential to help out a whole lot and get us somewhere. See what y'all think about that.
Appreciate the call, Robert. Yeah, Jalen showed up with this season offensive outbursts. I think he had 16 against Alabama, if I remember that right. Didn't necessarily score a ton against Baylor, but had a lot of other things he did well. I think he ended up with a pretty decent plus-minus. Tommy, you got the box score with you.
Yeah.
I think he ended up with a pretty decent plus-minus. He's
7.
just got to be
Jalen Graham's +7.
Yeah, he's just got to be more consistent on what he did Saturday. Needs to be more consistent. That's what Muss is wanting out of him, it seems like.
Only one of 2 Razorback players with a plus number in that column.
Well, one of the things that I was encouraged by with Graham on Saturday was he got 3 offensive rebounds. I'm not minimizing a guy that goes out and gets 9 rebounds, 8 of them are defensive rebounds. I'm not minimizing the importance of that. But great rebounders get on both ends. One of the things that Baylor's been really good at this year is getting offensive rebounds. They had 15 offensive rebounds in the ball game on Saturday. So if you're going to be a great rebounder, and I look at a guy like Graham, and I talked about the Mitchells a minute ago, offensive rebounds are really important. They've done a real good job, I think, of keeping balls alive, batting balls out. We saw it on the dagger play that, ended the ball game Saturday. They've done a real good job of being active and, keeping things alive. But you got to get some putbacks, too. You got to get some offensive rebounds. You got to score off of them.
How's this team respond against A&M tomorrow night? I mean, you lost a game that a lot of those guys in that locker room feel like they could have won. A&M's coming in here playing really good basketball as of late. They get their best win of the season probably at Auburn. What kind of team do we see tomorrow night inside Bud Walton Arena?
I think that's a good question.
If we see it.
Obviously, we'll find out. Every game's different. It's day to day. I mean, you saw results over the weekend that you didn't think you'd see. So sometimes there's not a rhyme or reason to it, but I would expect Arkansas to come out and play well. Again, I mean, you've got an opportunity to get back to 500 in conference play this week, and that, from a psychological standpoint, I think gives you new life.
Yeah. They'll play hard. I think that's the one thing you can depend on. Eric Musselman's team's going to play hard. He's going to get the most out of the 7 or 8 guys that play. So, the one thing I think is reliable, Chuck, is they're going to give you a max effort. I know that sounds, cursory or whatever, but this team has played with a lot of effort, and I don't think they can go without note.
Oh, they have, and they'll continue to. I don't have any doubt about that. It's going to be, I don't know that it's going to be what they would call aesthetically pleasing. I mean, we're not going to see, beautiful games in the 80s. I don't think it's going to be like that. But I think. Again, I think this is a critical week. They got to guard them hard because they're going to get guarded. I didn't think Auburn played very good defense, frankly, against Texas A&M in the game I saw. A&M took advantage of it. They got a lot of guys who can do that. They've got some good, they got some good players. They got good guards too.
Yeah. So I think it. Hopefully everything goes off, and you could also, with Anthony Black's situation, you could make the case that if the weather forces this game back a day, which moving it from Tuesday to Wednesday would still fit in kind of the SEC's scheduling window, if you will. May change the TV assignment. Might be good if Anthony Black is kind of beat up and banged up, like Coach Musk said, to give him another day to get his body right.
Maybe. I mean, I don't hadn't really thought of it from that perspective, but maybe so. Yeah, I mean, the body's battered this time of year. There's no doubt about it, and everybody's got to play through things. Everybody's, each team out there has got somebody dealing with something right now.
One thing everybody's dealing with is the weather and the cold conditions. One way to combat that is getting that 102, 103 degree water in your hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. It's a great thing to have, especially this time of the year, guys. So if you've dreamed about it, you've wanted one, it makes your body feel better before and after a workout, or it's a great way to start or end the day, Burton Pools and Spas can help you do that. In fact, over the 40-plus years at Burton's, they have installed many, many hot tubs. In fact, there's over 20,000 families that have around the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas area that have Burton Pools or Burton Spas in their home and their backyard. So stop in at Burton Pools and Spas, or if you're kind of home doing some remote work today, spend some time at burtonpools.com and look at all the hot springs models that are available, and enjoy a cold weather day in your hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
When we come back, let's talk about Kellen Moore and the Dallas Cowboys next on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
When you need a...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
problem is. Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance, and Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren, 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com to set your consultation. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
When you donate the kind of money that gets your name on a building, it's because you believe in what they're doing. It's because you believe in their mission. It's because you believe in the person or persons heading up the program. You don't just give away that kind of money because the team's winning. It has to go way beyond that.
Hey, welcome back into the Morning Rush. We're going to give you an update on the weather this morning when we come back. Also want to touch on Kellen Moore and the Dallas Cowboys. But first, want to tell you about our friends at West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. They've been doing water, sewer, gas, and grease since 1993. Clogged drains, maybe your water heater's on the fritz, call 646-5151. That's 646-5151. The team at West Ark, they're very thankful for the trust in your business. When things aren't flowing your way, again, call 646-5151. They've been doing it since 1993. They're a supporter of the community, and they always make sure the money goes back into that community. West Ark says no to crack in your pipes and your plumber. That's West Ark at 646-5151.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
I like that. All right, real quick, and then we'll talk Kellen Moore of the Cowboys. Guys, we'll take your text as well if you've kind of updated us on weather and whatnot. We've had a number of roads down. You've talked about several schools in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas. No kiddo's going to be there today.
I think most of them are working from home today. Remote learning. We didn't have that when I was a kid. You know, you either had to stay later in the summer or make it up somewhere. Remember, once we had a Saturday, we had to go to school.
Ugh.
To make up.
I've done that.
From snow days. So
I guess we've had one of those.
Yeah, but I think it only happened once or twice when I was in school, but it did happen. So a lot of schools closed. A lot of the roadways are, police personnel are working accidents. The bridges, Chuck, are obviously the place where there's the most concern.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of watch it as the mornings progressed. I mean, I know right now, Highway 22, they're starting to have problems as you get over into Yell County from what I see. And we mentioned down south of Mena, it's starting to get worse. Some over in north central Arkansas. from what from what I've been able to gather outside northwest Arkansas here, it looks like, everything's ice covered, and it's going to be slow going today.
Yeah, so
looks like a couple of wrecks, too, on if you're traveling south on 49, a couple of wrecks there just south of, looks like between Winslow and West Fork, northbound lanes.
24 degrees right now in Fayetteville. The daytime high today is supposed to be 29 degrees, so not going to get a lot better. It's 25 over in Harrison. Down in Hot Springs, it's 37 right now. They should avoid a lot of it as they're going to have a high of 41 today. And then in Fort Smith, it's 29 right now, and I'm not sure if it's going to get much warmer than that. It's going to get into the low to mid-30s around noontime today, but probably not going to see a lot of sunshine either, and some winter precipitation right now in the forecast beginning after 1 o'clock today.
Yeah, I think in northwest Arkansas, up here, it's going to be, they're saying late morning. Maybe there's going to be another round that comes through. So it's going to be one of those days, one of those mornings already.
Chance of snow at 60% at 9 a.m. in Fayetteville. Then a wintry mix, we'd call it, from noon till sunset tonight at about a 50 to 60% chance from 12 to 5 today.
Well, I'd rather have snow than ice.
Absolutely.
We'll see how that plays out.
Most people
may not get what you want.
Yeah, I know, but maybe that'll happen.
Yeah, and the thing is, guys, you look at today, high of 29 in Fayetteville. Tomorrow, high of 27. Chance of precipitation both days. We're not going to see the sun, according to the forecast, till Friday. And highs in Fayetteville will get into the 40s on Thursday. I think the roads will be fine by then. They'll have them fully treated and cleared off, but no precipitation Wednesday. So we ought to be able to get back to normal on Wednesday for sure.
I think Wednesday midday, Wednesday morning, everything will be all right.
You guys asked the question if they push that game back. That'll be something that we'll be monitoring here on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com, kind of the status of that Arkansas and Texas A&M game that's supposed to be played tomorrow night in Bud Walton.
There's 3 games on Wednesday right now. Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Auburn, LSU, Missouri. They may not be able to put it on ESPN2 like they had it scheduled, but because Florida and Georgia play at 6 o'clock on ESPN2, but it could certainly be at worst on SEC Network Plus. They do have 2 games, a 6 and an 8, both on SEC Network. So may have to maneuver around to find a TV partner other than the streaming, but the game certainly could be played on Wednesday.
Well, it could be, and let's emphasize that we're just talking speculatively right there. I don't know what they're going to do. I will say this: over the years, there have been many times when I've thought, not going to have a game tomorrow night, but we have a game tomorrow night. Yeah. So we'll just have to see if they can, how they maneuver today. I'm sure they're working on it as we speak.
These pilots can find a window where they can get in without the ice. It's getting back out. Sometimes they can get in. It's the getting out and having all the. Yeah. And that's probably why they'll have to go to XNA versus Drake to ensure.
I would think so.
Getting out.
Chuck, real quick, Dallas Cowboys and Kellen Moore parting ways. I don't know if it's mutual. I don't know if Kellen got canned, but what did you make of that decision that happened over the weekend?
Sounds like he got fired to me, based on what I read. To me, this stuff about, whether they retain Kellen Moore or fire Kellen Moore, I don't think that's the issue. I mean, they've we've been doing this for 30 years. He's not been the offensive coordinator for 30 years.
Well, they dumped a bunch of offensive staff too over the weekend. I mean, they
did.
He wasn't the only one that's parting ways with McCarthy and staff. They announced 5 or 6 changes day or two before that. So this kind of seemed to be inevitable. So, hey, if you're a DirecTV customer and you lost Newsmax, a channel you like watching, you can make the move to Dish. They still have that channel, and it's included on all packages on Dish. So, talking with Ben at World of Wireless, he wanted me to pass that along because they've gotten several calls over the last few days wondering if Newsmax was available on Dish because DirecTV has lost their partnership with that channel. So, if you're looking for that channel, make the move to Dish. Get a 3-year price guarantee. You can lock in your price right now for the next 3 years. No inflation at all with Dish. And plans start at $79.99 a month. World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH.
Going to get into our SEC update when we come back. Talk more about the Big 12 SEC Challenge from the weekend, plus what Stetson Bennett was doing in Dallas, Texas.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades: methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust, Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Happy New Year, everyone. Hi, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination. That's right, we've had enough. Thanks to our live market value pricing, our prices are dropping and our customers are saving now. And you can too on a great selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles, the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our non-commissioned solution specialists are there for you. Let them worry about making all the numbers work. It's what they're paid to do. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. For even more savings and protection, ask about our new Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They'll help you keep your car in tip-top shape while saving you money. So if you're like us and you want 23 to be the best year ever and you're ready for some inflation elimination, start today by driving better in a nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
We know the Arkansas Razorbacks lost in Waco on Saturday. Let's talk about some of the other games between the Big 12 and the Southeastern Conference. Auburn loses on the road to West Virginia by 3. Tech goes to Baton Rouge and beats LSU by 8. Missouri, probably the best win of the day. They beat Iowa State 78-61. Oklahoma destroyed Alabama, probably the biggest surprise of the day, 93-69. Mississippi State got a big win in OT against TCU, 81-74. You had Georgia and South Carolina play each other. Georgia edged them out in OT. K-State beat Florida in Manhattan 64-50. Tennessee in the Rick Barnes Bowl wins 82-71. Kansas got a much-needed win against Kentucky. Oklahoma State beat Ole Miss, and then A&M survived at home against Vanderbilt, Tommy.
Yeah, and, that Alabama game, I watched a good chunk of that second half. That game was not as close as the 24-point margin at the end. I mean, there were points where Alabama was down 30. They never menaced in this game. And very surprising to see the league's best team. And I still think right now they're the league's best team. Not just get beat at OU. That wouldn't be shocking. But the way they got crushed was very unpredicted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I made the smart aleck comment, hey, if you had Alabama plus 23, you lost. Who wouldn't have taken and bet the farm on Alabama plus 23 going into the day? Of course you would have.
Yep.
That's the crazy world of sports.
Other SEC news, Georgia offensive coordinator Todd Monken is getting interviewed by the Ravens and other positions in the National Football League. Keep an eye on that, what Kirby Smart could be doing there. Speaking of Georgia, Stetson Bennett was arrested in Dallas for public intoxication. According to the police report, the police responded to reports of a man banging on the doors in Old East Dallas. And upon finding Bennett, they took him to the detention center. They haven't released any other details. If I had to guess, I have no idea if this is true or not, he lost his friends, was trying to get back home to either their place or the Airbnb or whatever, and was not able to find that spot.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
May or may not have done that before, but if that is a guess on my part for Stetson, who had a rough morning, I guess, in East Dallas, which is, ironically enough, where I stayed on Friday and Saturday night. I just thought that was kind of funny. But, yeah, Stetson looks like, is that going to affect his draft status at all? Is that going to drop him at all, getting arrested?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, it's PI.
A lot of people don't believe his draft status is real high to begin with.
Kyber's got him going third round.
We'll see.
Nick Saban, according to, I think it was Outkick, rejected 2 players who were searching for $1.3 million in NIL. I know that was the big story from the weekend. They're apparently trying to look for a lot of money. Now, there are reports out there of certain guys making just insane amounts of money, and you and Chuck often point out, I don't know how much of that is true and how much of that is just leaked.
I think that some of that is just said to maybe bait your competitor, bait the other school in your conference, maybe to get one school to start bidding or pitting them against the other. Hey, I'd really like to go over here. In fact, I'll come for less. Could you get it up to anywhere close to that amount? Well, the other amount's not real. What are you going to do? You're Alabama. Are you calling Auburn to ask, hey, what's your real bid? Of course not. That's not how it works in the real world. I think some of this is just maneuvering. And, quite frankly, some of these coaches, and it's not their money, but these coaches are getting worked much in the same way them and Jimmy Sexton work these schools.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is going to do it for your SEC update. It is brought to you by Ashley Air.
Hey, when you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. That's Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a drain clean for $129 with a 2-year parts and labor warranty. If you got clogged drains or leaky faucets, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
There's now 3 wrecks between Winslow and West Fork. There was 2, and now there's 3. One final update on weather before we talk about what happened in the conference championship games over the weekend. There's still that wreck up near Gateway in north central Arkansas, and then you've still got the one down by Y City, and then one also in Fort Smith as well. So several places throughout Arkansas, not just in northwest, but north central, River Valley, even kind of southwest Arkansas that are experiencing some weather delays.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go, and you got to be somewhere. And it can't be avoided, but be careful. I mean, the last thing I'd want to be doing is crossing from Fayetteville down to Fort Smith or vice versa right now, or making that trip over a little bit later on 412. You know, you get over there past Huntsville, headed into Alpena. That can be a tough stretch of road in those mountains. So it's when you get in those higher elevations, and even south going, Mena and in the Ouachitas, there'll be some bad weather down that way too, going to, say, Hot Springs or just traveling from Waldron to Mena.
It was cold in Arkansas this morning when you woke up. It was also cold in Kansas City last night. The Chiefs edge out the Bengals in a great game. Here is Mitch Holthus on the call in the final seconds of the Chiefs win over the Bengals.
And it is caught over there now, slipping, and the Chiefs will tackle him. This game is over. This game is over. You can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs as the AFC champions. And for the 3rd time in 4 years, Lamar Hunt Trophy, the trophy named after this franchise's founder, is back in Kansas City where it belongs. What a gutsy victory. Grab a bucket of guts. The Chiefs are going to end the season where they began the season, in Glendale, Arizona, and Super Bowl 57.
Mitch almost ran out of breath there.
Give him some oxygen.
He was hyped up. In Kansas City, that was a fantastic game. Mahomes finally beats Burrow. Burrow was 3-0 against Patrick heading into that game, and for him to, again, play on the high ankle sprain, gutsy. Kansas City Chiefs fans are thrilled, and now there's going to be a sea of red and a sea of green that make its way to Glendale, Arizona. By the way, a lot of people were angry in New York. The Empire State Building lit up, I don't know if you saw that, green and white in honor of the Empire State Building's in New York. Giants and Eagles fans hate each other. And I don't know if it was a Northeast thing, but fans were not happy at the Empire State Building in New York City.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned the early line yet on the Super Bowl. At the Bet Saracen app right now, Philadelphia, favored by 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Over under 49.5.
Are you surprised by that opening line that the Eagles are favored?
No, I think they're the more complete team. When you say they got better line play.
They run the ball really, really well.
Better pursuit of the quarterback over the course of the season.
I think Hurts, I feel bad for Jalen because I thought he played really well in that game against San Francisco, but how do you not give the NFL MVP to Mahomes after that effort? I just think he locked that down, and this is what's kind of unique. I think that gets announced this week if I remember seeing the commercial for the NFL awards. But
what a story, though, Jalen Hurts has the chance to author here. Alabama, you get yanked in the conference championship game it was, and then you don't get to start in the national championship game. Then you hang around for a year. We know what went on. Then he ultimately he comes back, he saves his team there, but then moves on to OU, gets drafted, and you didn't win the Heisman. All these things. But then in the end, you're going to be potentially a Super Bowl champion. That's a pretty good story Jalen Hurts may write with one more win.
Yeah, and you've got several SEC connections on that team. A.J. Brown went to Ole Miss. Devontae Smith went to Alabama, was a teammate of Jalen's when they were in school together. This is a loaded roster in Philadelphia, and I know Cowboy fans probably not going to be cheering for Philly, and I know that there's a lot of Cowboy fans that dislike the Chiefs as well, but this should be a great game between two quarterbacks that are really fun to watch. I know Jalen Hurts is still dealing with that sprained shoulder. Then you've got Patrick Mahomes dealing with, of course, the high ankle sprain. So two guys that are willing to put their bodies on the line for a Super Bowl. It's not just them. There's several players. Kelsey had back issues heading into that game. I don't know what type of shots or what type of pills he took to play, but he was very valuable. Valdez Scantling had a huge game. We got to remember, KC lost Mecole Hardman, and they also lost, I think, Juju in that game. And Mahomes is throwing into guys that he hasn't really thrown to all year and still making plays, play after play. And it's not like the Bengals have a bad defense. They just stoned Josh Allen the week before in Buffalo, of all places.
Yep. So, I felt bad for the 49ers. Just, you get to that point, kind of reminded me, not that we felt bad for Texas, but they got all the way to the championship game against Bama, and Colt McCoy gets injured on second play. I mean, that's just not, you don't want to get to that point. You finally have a chance to punch your ticket, so to speak, and you lose your key player so early, and that's exactly what happened with the 49ers. It's pretty amazing they even got this far and to an NFC championship game, considering what Lenz, Garoppolo, Purdy, and then Johnson. Then I guess they ended up on their fifth quarterback for a moment in that game yesterday.
Yeah, now the speculation is going to be rampant on what they do in the offseason. Derek Carr, Tom Brady. I mean, there's a lot of ideas and thoughts floating around out there, not just with San Francisco, but a bunch of teams. We mentioned Kellen Moore getting let go from Dallas. A lot of moving parts in the next couple weeks with NFL franchises. Super Bowl, again, is not this next weekend, but it's the weekend after. You've got the first ever flag football game, Pro Bowl thing, and the skills challenge and whatnot. But the lead up to this game in Glendale is going to be a lot of fun because I think Hurts and Mahomes have been remarkable this year. And if either one of those guys won the NFL MVP, I'd be okay with it. But I just think Mahomes, what he did on Sunday, kind of supplanted him getting that award.
And I don't know when the next media op is for the Chiefs and what they have to say. It'd be interesting to see if just the going through the game, once the painkillers and everything wear off of Mahomes, what was the wear and tear on the ankle by playing that game?
Yeah, great point.
How many? I bet he doesn't spend very many moments outside of therapy without a walking boot on the next 2 weeks. He may have two walking boots on, one on each foot, just to try to get him ready. But hey, you got 2 weeks or 13 days now to get ready for the biggest game of your life.
Clay just texted in. He said there's black ice right now in Norfolk. I know we've been discussing that this morning. And he also wanted to remind us the Arkansas connection with the Philadelphia Eagles. Jeremiah Washburn, who coaches their defensive line and outside linebackers. So, which again, best pass rush all season has been in Philly.
Yeah. All right, it's been a Hot Take Monday. It's always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Top brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance, all at the best prices and always a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. It's all at Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Probably we'll get an update from the SEC office at some point today about the Texas A&M Arkansas game. I know they sent it out for the LSU game weeks ago, and we'll probably get that between the Aggies and Razorbacks at some point. They'll let you know on halftime in Rusk and Zach kind of what's going on there. We plan on doing Hog Reaction tomorrow night following the game, assuming it's played. I hope it does. It's sometimes that Chuck said it earlier, even though it might not seem like these games are going to be played. They play the LSU game. Hopefully they'll play this game as well. Good A&M squad that's walking into your building tomorrow night. Winners of, I think, every conference game except for one. Their one loss to Kentucky. I wouldn't be surprised if they were ranked when the rankings come out in the AP poll later on today.
Yeah, there's a lot of, speaking of just makeup games and moving, a lot of high school basketball that was supposed to have been made up tonight from missed weather. Those are all getting canceled, so going to be interesting to see. It could be a busy week of prep hoops around our state, too.
That's going to do it for today's show. Everyone be safe out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication.